Konnichiwa minasan. Selamat datang ke sesi tribute kepada AKIRA Toriyama, mendiang AKIRA Toriyama yang unfortunately meninggal dunia baru-baru ni, yang give the fans of manga and anime around the world satu kejutan yang besar, especially di Mexico. Tapi tak kurangnya juga di tempat lain kat dunia ni. So anda tak perlu untuk menjadi seorang peminat tegar untuk berasa sedih dengan pemergian manga ni, kerana yang he died on the 1 bulan Mac 2024 akibat pendarahan subdural. Pemergian mendiang dirasakan barisan peminat dari seantero dunia yang membaca dan menonton karya-karya bagong beliau, lebih-lebih lagi dari IP Dragonball dan Dr. Slump, dan tak dilupai permainan video yang mendapat sentuhan mendiang seperti Dragon Quest dan Chrono Trigger. So panelis untuk sesi malam ni terdiri daripada Shazli Merican. How are you, my good man?
I'm doing well, all things considered. But the news was quite surprising. Tiba-tiba pagi-pagi tengah nak buat kerja dapat satu gambar dekat feed tu, macam like betul ke ni? Then realise that other news portals were reporting.
Itulah. Tapi orang cakap mudanya, tapi nak kata susah juga. Aku pun tak ada muda sangat, tapi dia 68 kan. Tapi aku tahulah dari segi apa aku kerja, aku tahulah apa penyebab sebab apa dia meninggal. Tapi sebab atas sebab tu orang dah mula speculate lah macam-macam kat internet, which is not very nice lah. Dia dah meninggal tu, just let it be lah. Orang, at least, the family wanted to keep it private kan, and that kind of stuff. But we'll talk about the other better stuff lah, which is his works. Dan juga Anri Alwi, how are you this evening?
I'm still recovering from the news lah, trying to absorb the new reality lah, yang AKIRA Toriyama dah meninggal. Of all the mangakas kan yang saya ingatkan akan meninggal awal kan, he was not in the top 5 at all. He was very youthful, he was well liked. You don't hear much about him sakit atau apa-apa tau.
Tapi kalau kau tengok kat Wikipedia, ada orang bagi satu paragraf, adalah kait-kait sikit, tapi aku macam whatever lah. Anyway, sorry.
And most of his work kan baru-baru ni kan, macam Dragonball Super kan, was done by the artist Toyotaro, if I'm not mistaken, nama dia.
Okay.
Oh tu dia punya dia punya protege lah, Toyotaro.
He's supposed to pick up on the artist's work, so his work should not be that stressful, but you never know lah, this thing happens lah.
Kita pun tak tahu lah kan. So macam kau rightly sebut jugalah, tapi macam mana cakap kan, tahun 2020-an ni memang tak berapa best lah untuk mangaka, because kita ada Kentaro Miura untuk Berserk meninggal baru-baru ni.
Yeah.
And then we had the Kentaro Miura. Jamal dah masuk. Mana dah? Oh sorry, pasal dekat bawah. Hai Jamal. So because Kentaro Miura died of a brain hemorrhage as well. And the other one was the tapi yang meninggal kat diving.
Yu-Gi-Oh punya mangaka, apa nama?
Yes. Yang tu heart attack. Tapi itulah. And also on the day that Toriyama meninggal, ada satu voice actress untuk this for this old anime, nama apa? Awek rambut pendek baju merah. Yes, that one. So quite a few sad news lah. And then kita juga kali ni, I think first time untuk session yang BuzzPOP and Summer of Chaos Anime Division. Duan Yakuza, welcome. Yes, comic collector, comic seller, comic enthusiast. So basically, unfortunately Duan tak dapat lama dengan kita, tapi so we'll try to get as much of from him before he had to go. Kau malam ni aku Man City. Anyway, aku tak minat Liverpool pasal.
So aku masa first dengar berita tu, macam first aku tengok ada Kelmu ke Centerfung ada upload buku komik Dragon Ball dengan Dr. Slump, tapi aku just scroll lah sebab dia upload gambar buku je kan, aku tak tahu apa-apa. Lama aku scroll, Sampai yang sangat orang ambil pasal komik Akira Toriyama ni. Sebab aku tak baca tu gambar. Bila aku baca, dah meninggal lah. So,
Aku tengok dekat Facebook kau tau. Kau macam ada a few Toriyama punya title. Was that before or after?
Yes. Sebab aku actually pagi tu aku dah tengok lama dah ada ambil pasal gambar komik, lepas tu pasal surat tu. So aku tak baca lah kan. Surat tu pun panjang translate kan. So aku macam tak ada apa-apa lah. Bila aku rasa banyak sangat bila aku try baca dah tak ada dah. Lepas tu bila aku baca balik surat yang official tu aku share yang official tu lah. Sebab yelah official lah, sebab sekarang banyak yang orang try nak bagi yang official tu lah.
Aku bengang gila tengok orang
macam
buat lawak.
Macam semua orang juga lah. Macam semua orang pun macam tak percaya. Sebab Akira Toriyama ni nama dia sangat besar lah. Dia punya works dia, the most besar dia Dragonball lah, semua orang tahu. So satu dunia pun tahu. So dia punya impact tu sangat besar dari segi skill. Bukan nak kata yang mangaka lain tak besar, tapi Akira ni dia macam dia punya inspired ramai sangat mangaka.
Yes.
Semua orang tahu Oda dengan Kishimoto dan ramai juga komik artis. Tak kisah. Even Malaysia dengan US dan semua. Itu dari segi komik punya ni. Belum lagi cakap player bola apa semua memang.
Yalah. Anyway, we'll talk more about that later. And then we got to introduce our not last but not least. Welcome Jamal Piccolo Raslan. Kau lupa satu benda je.
Aku lupa apa?
Serban.
Kau tak hijau.
Oh, tak apa sebab ini muka aku nak buat acah-acah Tenshinhan. Lol.
Okay. Apa khabar? How are you? Long time no see, man.
Khabar baik, alhamdulillah. Baru bergegas balik daripada dinner tadi. Was out the whole day buat event. Thanks for accommodating me. I got this news quite early masa aku kat office, and then the moment I read it aku macam Akira Toriyama meninggal, and then aku macam okay. And then aku tak pergi kat group kan, tak sembang dengan korang. And then slowly on my feed, people that I rarely see on my feed, sama ada diorang aku tak follow atau tak interact and algorithm tak tendang masuk, atau diorang pun memang jarang post. A lot were starting to post tribute throughout the day lah. So at that point, sebab the thing about Dragon Ball Z is I followed it on time sebab Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z kat Malaysia ni, the first translations came out in the mid 90s, early mid 90s. I think it's about 95, 96. And some of the first translations were Bola Naga. That was the earliest publisher. And then the Comic House, and then the latter publisher baru dia bagi nama yang sedap sikit, Mutiara Naga. So aku dah, and that was when I was form 2 or form 3. Aku start baca Dragon Ball Z when I was at standard.
Jamal. Aku tadi kita sepatutnya aku tak buat macam pre-discussion punya discussion. I'm going to do a question session. I mean, the first question will be pengalaman masing-masing.
No, this is just me giving a quick one. Don't worry.
Okay.
So for me, at that point, bila kau dah membesar, means you've read Dragon Ball Z during your adolescence, into your teens, and then when you go to your teens, kau cari interest yang lain, sebab kebetulan Dragon Ball Z pun dah habis, and then you grow out of it. Faham tak? You then become more mature, you watch the Van Threads of people, you watch the Gundams, the whatever lah. So, and then you arrive at the big ones, the Narutos, the Bleachers, the One Pieces, and then kau rasa macam, this is why these series are better, objectively speaking, than DBZ. But bila Akira punya news mati hit me, and over the last couple of days, I started to realize from the day I picked up the first issue of Dragon Ball Z, the first issue that I started following them on, my life has been filled with Dragon Ball Z. Kalau korang tahu berapa banyak aku beli buku latihan sekolah semata-mata nak sketch Goku, Vegeta, any science. Kalau macam masuk kelas pendidikan seni, bersepah. And that's when I realised, shit, Mamat ni memang has been around and I've been taking it for granted. Sebab aku ingat aku dah tua ke, aku dah adult and all that. And then in recently aku tengok some US punya pop culture punya channel, the amount of influence Dragon Ball belatedly had on on a large generation of African Americans specifically is huge.
Yep.
They started becoming otaku in the States from DBZ. Like, whatever your discussion is, no matter how low they rank DBZ, their bar is DBZ. Like, Goku is the cultural reference over there. And for a country that is like almost like on the opposite ends of Japan, kan, for them to take to the IP so much despite watching it very, very late says a lot about the work. So that is what I'm starting to realize about Toriyama lah, and which is probably why aku bila nampak kau cari panelis, aku macam I think I have to be part of this. So yeah.
Don't worry about it because masa kita discuss benda lain pun kau banyak wax lyrical about Dragon Ball Z. So I thought it'll be a pity that if we can't have you in the panel. So don't worry about it. I've noticed that a long time ago. So, but sebelum kita nak mulakan dengan ni, I'm just going to go around like do a basic pengenalan kepada jika ada sesiapa yang datang ke kita punya ni untuk for the first time and not know much about it. So I'm going to do a quick not very original introduction to mendiang AKIRA Toriyama yang dilahirkan on the 5th of April 1955 di Kiyosushi, Aichi, Ken. Dia anak sulung pada dua adik-beradik and dia minat bidang lukisan sejak kecil lagi. So similar to Jamal's idea of taking exercise books and drawing manga, that was what pretty much a lot of his male schoolmates in primary school was doing. So Toriyama pernah menyatakan antara cita-cita awal beliau untuk memperbaiki lukisan adalah dalam animasi 101 Dalmatians by Disney. Tetapi hasilan karya Godfather of Manga Osamu Tezuka iaitu Astro Boy lah yang membuat mendiang Toriyama meminati manga. So minat dia terhadap manga berubah sekejap kepada later on when he grew older to siri animasi dan tokusatsu sewaktu beliau berada di sekolah menengah rendah seperti siri TV, Ultraman dan Gamera. Okay, oleh kerana minat, mendiang Toriyama memasuki sekolah menengah tinggi yang concentrate on creative and reka bentuk. And thereafter, lepas sekolah dia kerja dekat syarikat sebuah syarikat iklan di Nagoya. Tapi namun pekerjaan di sebuah syarikat wasn't his thing. Dah tak tahan lama, 3 tahun je. So dia masuk this first competition untuk pelukis amatur anjuran Weekly Shonen Magazine oleh Kodansha, tapi dia tak berjaya. Tapi dia try sekali lagi untuk Weekly Shonen Jump, which is by Shueisha, di mana telah mendapat rejection pertama dia because the people were saying kau punya cerita ni dan lukisan dia macam Star Wars sangat. I mean, to fans of Toriyama would know of his dalliance with anything Star Wars in the past. Dan in the end, karya beliau yang bertajuk Wonder Island diterbitkan pada 1978 di majalah Weekly Shonen Jump atas dorongan the editors over there at Shonen Jump. So later on, as he was working with Shueisha, dia digalakkan untuk buatlah cerita yang ada lead dia perempuan. So he did a title which I totally forgot, but in the end he ended up making Dr. Slump. And Dr. Slump ni ran for 1980 hingga 1984. Dia pun sebenarnya aku pun nak bagi habis lah cerita ni. So tapi nevertheless Dr. Slump dapat tempat di hati ramai pembaca Toriyama. In the end dia dianugerahkan Shogakukan Manga Award untuk manga shonen / shoujo terbaik in 1981. So beberapa manga nukilan Toriyama kemudiannya diterbit oleh Shueisha, a few like titles that I've never heard of, Polar, Android, Pink dan Mathematic. Dan in the end in 1984 atas cadangan Shueisha kerana Toriyama meminati filem-filem kungfu, dia menghasilkan sebuah a two-parter called Dragon Boy in 1983, which later evolved dari Dragon Ball yang kita kenali sekarang pada 1984. Dan siri ini berakhir pada 1995 dan penjualan tokoh Dragon Ball di Jepun saja berjumlah lebih kurang 160 juta naskah. So tak heranlah jika Dragon Ball adalah antara siri manga terlaris di dunia. Dan di atas kejayaan manga Dragon Ball, CD anime untuk TV dan filem, permainan video dan seaneka merch, t-shirt, toys, whatever dilahirkan dari IP nukilan Toriyama ini. So in the end, just to add, he's not just doing mangas, he was also a character designer, mereka bentuk karakter untuk game Dragon Quest pada tahun 1986 atas galakan his penyunting editor bernama Torishima Kazuhiko sehingga waktu apparently he's involved in Dragon Quest to the time of his death. So mendiang benar juga menjadi mereka bentuk watak untuk Chrono Trigger dan Tobaru. So in the end dia meninggal dunia umur 68 meninggalkan seorang isteri dan 2 orang anak. So that's my short intro to this great manga that everybody's lost lah. But I'm going to start since as I've told people Duan hilang. Aku baru nak tanya dia soalan. Okay. So basically okay. Anyway, so pengalaman dengan hasil karya Toriyama in your eyes dan juga I guess just in case kita tak dapat, aku nak juga tambah sikit, just a little add on to your question is your experience dengan komik-komik atau manga-manga Toriyama di Malaysia. Maybe kalau kau tahu apa-apa dia orang pernah buat bahasa Malaysia ke apa. So,
okay,
it's yours.
Sekejap. Okay, aku sebab aku rasa semua orang pun ada cerita masing-masing kan. So semua ada pengalaman. So aku sentuh dekat bahagian manga lah ataupun komik. So masa Dragon Ball baru keluar dalam tengah 90-an ataupun early 90-an, aku masa tu suka rendah kot. Dah satu kot lagu. So masa sebelum cross sejarah bermulanya manga dekat Malaysia ni, dia agak lambat sebab starting dulu yang first antara komik-komik terawal kat Malaysia adalah komik lokal macam Gila-Gila, ada Gila Hati apa semua, there's local brand. Sebelum Ujang lagi pun, masa tu Ujang kira masa early 90s tu Ujang
Fantasi.
tu baru. Fantasi tu kan komik dia majalah macam art semua. So at that time Gila-Gila ikut Mac apa semua. So pengaruh lokal ada daripada US dalam lawak Human Mac. Lepas tu early zaman tu pun ada pengaruh daripada US dari segi superhero. Banyak komik-komik 70-an 80-an tu pengaruh banyak US jugalah at that time. So masa tu yang pengaruhi industri komik dekat Malaysia ni mostly US lah, dari segi lawak ataupun superhero. Lepas tu era awal 80-an, era Mahua ni komik Hong Kong lah. So bila komik Hong Kong masuk, masa tu budak, aku rasa generasi umur tu seperti aku lah. Sekarang kira 40 ke 50 macam tu lah. So diorang punya zaman tu, masa tu Mahua baru masuk. So Mahua punya tu macam ni komik apa ni Hong Kong, kung fu semua kan. Masa tu Mahua tengah meletup. So masa tu komik lokal macam tak terkesan lagi, macam tak goyang lagi sebab masa tu komik lokal kuat lagi. Then bila masuk masa tu sebenarnya Toriyama masuk dulu. Toriyama buat Doraemon. Masa tu at that time Doraemon juga. So Doraemon pun dah fenomena at that time. So masa tu semua orang pun ada Doraemon at that time. Tapi the moment Dragon Ball masuk under Comic House, kira macam in a way official lah kan. So macam tu macam satu benda baru tau. Macam lukisan pun lain dan cerita pun lain. So bila aku dapat tu, aku ingat arwah mati aku belikan masa tu kita orang nak pergi balik kampung ke Ipoh, beli dekat stesen bas Pudu. Situ masa tu mamak semua kedai komik kan, so beli untuk baca dalam bas supaya tak boring kan. Masa tu tak ada handphone. So beli masa tu dah keluar nombor 1 nombor 2 baca. So bila baca tu lain pada Doraemon lah kan. Sebab aku masa tu kecil aku tak baca Mahua ni macam untuk dewasa tau. So macam aku tidak diberi pendarahan lah. So bila baca tu macam mampu cara naga ni kan. Lepas tu bila masa tu dia start keluar misteri naga, dia keluar Yokusho. Tapi at that time number one punya sale dekat Comic House dan manga memang yang bagi fenomena memang awal Doraemon awal lagi sebenarnya. Tapi bagi fenomena dekat Malaysia memang pencarian naga lah, memang Dragon Ball. Sebab apa aku kata fenomena? Masa aku sekolah rendah, darjah 1, darjah 2 semua, darjah 3 semua, masa tu orang berebut-rebut siapa beli Dragon Ball dulu. Siapa ada isu terbaru, Kalau dia bawa pergi sekolah, dia king. Dia king tau. Saya, lepas tu jadi topik pula kan. Okay, semua orang cerita Dragon Ball. Memang semua orang topik Dragon Ball memang duluan. Ketua ni bela. Sekali seorang budak bawa, dia ada buku baru lah. Orang ni tak ada lagi kan. Macam mana dia dapat kan? Memang dia jadi king. Lalu semua orang pinjam. At that time pinjam. Kau jadi famous lah. Nama kau meletup lah. Sampai ada orang buat, kau orang lihat aku sendiri. Aku dah buat sewa komen Dragon Ball. Aku sewa. Siapa nak baca 50 sen. Seorang je 50 sen. Baca yang buat duit dulu kan. Lepas tu baru aku tahu cara punya yang geng-geng dapat beli awal ni bukan beli kat kedai mamak apa. Dia orang beli secara post tau. Masa tu budak-budak mana tahu, tapi ada orang yang tahu dia beli post. So bila kau beli
Dari
post,
beli post dari mana?
Dia post dengan company Comic House lah. Dekat belakang buku dengan Comic House. Ada orang boleh order. Yes, ada orang boleh order setiap bulan.
Ya.
Budak-budak mana tahu, budak-budak tunggu bila dah keluar je. So kita tak tahu apa function ni nak beli macam mana.
Dia dekat mana?
Skor rendah.
Dekat Penang kan komedi tu? Selalu banyak kalau kedai-kedai macam ni
Tak,
Penang ke?
Comic House actually dekat KL. Dia punya
KL lah?
kilang.
Okay. Sorry.
Kalau sejarah Comic House ni dia asalnya di kilang percetakan. Lepas tu sama macam dengan Mahua punya Comic Hong Kong lah. Asal dia semua adalah kilang percetakan. Cuma diorang cetak buat percetakan. So mana kita bawa apa benda yang boleh kita buat kan. Kita cetak, kita ambil orang buku, kita translate dia. Panggil translator, buat. So itu start diorang buat. So dia jadi company percetakan dan company penerbitan komik lah. So kat situ dia ada bagi borang kat belakang, kau kena gunting, kau kena order, bayar. So kelebihan adalah aku dapat seminggu awal ke sebulan awal, aku tak sure. So aku rasa beberapa minggu awal. So kau tak sampai kat kedai mamak, tak sampai lagi, kedai-kedai buku tak sampai lagi, kau dah dapat. So kau memang jadi king lah. Sampai kau Dragon Ball paling awal, kau memang king. So benda jadi fenomenal. Lepas tu satu lagi fenomena pasal Dragon Ball punya komik ni, manga kat sekolah, satu lagi daripada siapa paling awal dapat king. Siapa boleh lukis Dragon Ball, the king. Tapi masalahnya masa atas semua orang tekap. Sekali seorang member aku ni dia boleh lukis tanpa tekap. Freehand. Dulu dia tahu dekat tanpa tiru. Dia boleh memorize dia punya stroke lah. Masa tu budak-budak semua kagum lah. Share macam apa gila saya ni. Memang aku shout out to Zikri kalau dia tengok. Zikri dia power gila. So dia pun jadi the next king. Selain daripada aku dapat kau awal, kau boleh lukis Dragon Ball, kau king. So memang masa sekolah rendah, fenomena Dragon Ball ni dekat sekolah tu, sekolah aku tau. Aku boleh imagine seluruh Malaysia punya sekolah situasi mesti sama je. Mesti sama. Sebab sekolah aku pun dah macam tu. Kau bayangkan Dragon Ball ni bila kau tengok, bila anime dah masukkan RTM ke mana kan. Benda ni kau ingat kau seorang bercerita pasal ni kan. Rupanya bila kau dah besar, kau dah pergi asrama ataupun kuliah apa semua. Rupanya budak-budak negeri lain pun borak pasal Dragon Ball juga. Macam gila-gila, macam budak-budak balik. So aku pun dulu aku ingat kat sekolah aku je gila-gila pasal Dragon Ball. Rupanya aku fikir balik, aku rasa satu Malaysia. Bukan kita je. Masa tu sebab aku tak ada social media, aku tak tahu what's happen orang Malaysia kan. So betul bila aku dah besar aku realise. So Dragon Ball ni bukan merubah hidup aku je, merubah hidup satu budak kat Malaysia ni. Bila aku lagi besar, rupanya Dragon Ball ni memang tok kat Jepun satu hal. Lepas tu kat Malaysia pun satu hal. Rupanya kat US juga dia jadi semena-mena. Dari tu lagi. Baru tahu Mexico lagi gila Dragon Ball pada orang Jepun dengan orang US dengan orang Malaysia. Mexico tu punya gila-gila. Baru tahu. Lepas tu tadi Jamal bercakap Afrika pun mana dia lambat sampai kat mana tempat. Tapi bila dia sampai memang dia boom. Itulah efek Dragon Ball dia. Aku bukan nak downgrade kan One Piece ke Naruto ke apa kan. Tapi itulah dia Dragon Ball. Maknanya kalau kau first timer, kau diberi permulaan dengan Dragon Ball, memang kau akan terus hook, terus klik. Tu fenomena Dragon Ball dari segi komik dan masyarakat sekeliling dan anime dia. Itu aku boleh beri sikit pasal komik punya part yang aku pengalaman sendirilah. So memang Dragon Ball. Lepas tu pula aku nak share sikit pasal aku dengan buku Dragon Ball ni. Menjadikan aku start collecting pula sebab Dragon Ball jugalah. Bila korang kumpul macam apa yang pandai Comic House ni, dia kekalkan apa tu, dia punya spine tu. So spine dia tu bersambung tau.
Spine dia benda paling best.
Yes, benda paling best tau. Bila bersambung, bila kau susuk, cantik lah. Kau susuk kat sini cantik lah. Itu buat kau jadi, secara tak langsung kau jadi collector sebab kau nak tengok benda tu cantik. Bila letak kat rak ke kat dinding, cantik. So komik lain tak ada, Dragon Ball je. At that time memang Dragon Ball je buat sambung. Lepas tu memang kat situ lah bermulanya aku jadi collector sebab kosong cantik. Lepas tu kau kumpul semua benda, semua komik. Lepas tu start tu semua manga, semua komik lokal. Satu komik F tu tak boleh lah. Komik F time tu kecil, mahal lagi lah. So itu lepas tu bila aku dah ada kumpul komplit Dragon Ball, lepas tu aku letak dalam bilik aku, lepas tu tangki air bocor, basah, habis rosak. Beli baru lagi full set. At that time aku ingat Comic House ada buat, dia dah habiskan beberapa buku kan. Kau boleh beli bundle tau. Dia jual sekali satu, dia macam dia bak kan dalam plastik. Kau boleh beli ni semurah. Beli kat kedai buku je. So bila buku tu musnah, kena ananai ke kena air ke, kau tak payah risau. Boleh dapatkan lagi at that time. Bila tahun 2000 berapa aku tengok, 15 ke apa. Comic House dengan Tor Rahman dah announce diorang bankrupt. Sebab diorang bankrupt adalah sebab orang dah tak baca buku physical, semua online. Orang dah tak boleh ni sustain. Masa tu baru kau tahu susah nak dapat komik. Masa tu komik Dragon Ball semua jadi rare.
Sebelum kau nak continue, kau beli, bila katalah kau dah rosak tu, kau beli macam back issue kan, dia jual harga biasa ke dia jual mahal sikit?
Kalau kau beli yang bug tu dekat kedai yang Mama at that time, dia promo sebab orang kedai Mama bukan kedai makan. Dulu kedai Mama ada kedai jual buku juga.
Tak,
dulu Mama
kedai makan, jual
buku.
Komik Marvel
kau
dia
boleh
tu pakai ke Mama.
Lepas tu bila kau buku dah rosak apa, kau tak payah risau sebab Dragon Ball punya buku banyak sebab memang Comic House print terlampau banyak. Dia macam overprint. Lepas tu dia nak habiskan printing lama dia, lepas tu dia print lagi. So dia first print tu dia nak habiskan. So dia memang bagi kat semua kedai, bak-bak tu. So kau boleh pergi kat kedai depan rumah je. Semua tempat pun ada. Dragon Ball ni semua negeri ada. So senang. Masa tu tak ada ni macam kau collector pun kau tak risau. Kau beli je. Bila dah aku berapa kali beli Dragon Ball sebab rosak, kena air, kena naik. Dah hilang. Ada banyak kali aku beli. Lepas tu bila zaman dah announce, Comic House announce diorang dah bankrupt dia tutup permintaan dah tak ada. Masa tu baru aku tahu, susah gila dapat Dragon Ball, memang rare gila. At that time aku baru tahu, komik ni ada harga kan. Aku tak boleh fikir komik ada harga. At that time. Dulu komik tak ada harga sebab masa tu bila kau beli bug kau dia half price macam tu. Dia murah, dia tak. Dulu harga RM2, dia start dengan RM2.5 lah. First harga. Lepas tu naik jadi RM3, jadi RM3.5, jadi RM3.9, jadi RM4.3. Last kali RM4.3 kot, ke dah naik lagi RM5. RM5.3. So masa
aku beli kat sekolah, masa sekolah rendah aku beli RM3. Tapi aku punya Mandarin version lah.
RM3. Betul, sebelum Comic House transit BM, budak Cina dah baca dulu. Itu lagi celaka.
Terang aku habis baca sebelum korang start baca.
Betul. Masa Dragon Ball tengah hot dengan budak-budak Melayu. Masa tu aku ingat nombor 35. Masa tu sel dah jadi complete lah. Lepas tu masa tu Cina dah sampai 35. Melayu tak sampai lagi. Melayu baru aku ingat belum sampai sel lagi kot. Baru nak lawan Frieza. Masa tu baru Super Saya 27 pun dah gila-gila lah. So 27 baru Super Saya semua jadi gila. Yang benda. Kau tahu lah seorang budak Melayu pergi sekolah Cina ni, dia bawa buku nombor 35 Cina, Gohan dah jadi ni. Apa pantat dia lagi power pada kita ni kan. Dia siap baca dia duduk. Kita macam apa benda ni kan. Kita pun tengok je Super Saya. Kau dah jadi Gohan Super Saya apa benda ni kan. Dia cakap celaka budak ni belagak gila. Dia macam dia cakap boleh macam Cina je. Celaka tu. Masa tu dia tu lagi king lah. Budak Melayu semua galah. Tu lagi sedap. Buku Cina bukan Comic House yang print, ada company lain lah. Masa tu banyak company yang buat. Comic House dia handle yang Melayu je lah. So apa lagi aku nak tambah pasal komik. Kalau komik penyempat lah. Okay, pasal rare komik ni kan. Bila zaman Comic House dah tutup, lepas tu kau dah susah dah dapat. Kau dah tak ada. Apa yang tinggal, yang boleh legal kat Malaysia ni, itu tinggal. Dia takkan print lagi dah. Tak ada kilang yang nak print lagi. So komik naik harga. Aku baru tahu. So aku baru tahu pasal grup komik kat Facebook. Ada memang aku cakap, komik tu semua boleh jual. Komik ada harga, boleh jual lah. Boleh jual lah. Orang jual mahal. Masa tu aku cakap, betul harga ada harga. Bila masa aku baru masuk, tu grup ni kelakar. Okay, jual beli bidar nama grup tu. Aku baru masuk. Aku rasa nak share collection aku. Aku tak tahu pula time tu Dragon Ball tengah rare. Semua orang hunting Dragon Ball. Aku tak tahu. Aku ada full set. Masa tu aku letak gambar lain. Aku letak gambar komik Bleach, komik Naruto, komik Dr. Slump kot, aku tak ingat. Dragon Ball aku tak letak. Sekali ada budak perasan aku susun tepi, ada budak perasan macam, bang nak tengok komik tepi tu komik apa lah. Oh lah, nanti aku share. Dia punya grup tu, bila kau share, tu grup jual beli. Kau kena letak harga. Macam kau menjual lah. Kau tak boleh post. Masa tu aku tak tahu. Aku main letak je lah. Aku post gambar Dragon Ball complete set. Aku letak je lah harga 200. Sebab aku nak share, aku bukan nak jual. Kau tahu bila aku post je, berebut orang semua komen, lock. Aku tahu, lock ni apa benda? Lepas tu aku tahu, lock ni apa benda siapa? Aku benda semua komen lock ni banyak kan. Lepas tu bergaduh. Oh tu bergaduh. Lepas tu saya lock dulu semua. Lepas tu semua PM. Benda ni aku dah panik. Apa hal ni? Apa aku dah buat ni? Lepas tu yang lock PM tepi semua, ramai PM lah. Tu lalah admin PM aku. Bang, abang betul ke bang nak jual harga ni? 200 ni. Saya sebenarnya tak nak jual. Saya cakap saya tak nak jual. Saya nak share. Tapi kalau nak share, kena letak harga tu. Saya main letak je lah. Niat saya nak share je. Oh, abang silap ni bang. Abang tu harga komik sekarang, Dragon Ball ni sekarang berapa? Saya tak tahu. Saya baru join grup ni baru sehari 2. Saya tak tahu apa-apa. Saya dah ajak share ni ke. Oh, bahaya ni bang. Abang tahu, komik ni, full set Dragon Ball ni, boleh pergi 400 ke 500 full set. Paling tinggi orang pernah beli dekat dalam grup ni 700. Abang letak 200 tau. So, boleh jadi pergolakan ni dia kata. Saya cakap, betul. Dah, lepas tu sekarang ni abang nak buat macam mana ni kan? Aku dah panik tau sebab semua orang ni. Dia semua dah gaduh kalau tu. Gaduh. Kata, ni yang lock ni mesti nak jual balik harga mahal sebab dapat jackpot 200 kan.
Yalah.
Aku dah confirm. Lepas tu aku cakap, alamak, sebenarnya saya tak nak jual ni macam mana? Okay, macam ni bang. Dia ajar aku cari teknik macam mana nak lepaskan diri lah. Tapi aku tak boleh review kat sini nanti orang ni kan. Okay, saya ajar abang macam mana. Okay. Bapak, settle. Siapa pun tak dapat. Sebab aku memang tak nak jual. So dapat. Lepas tu kerja takut lah. Rupanya komik Dragon Ball ada harga. Tapi at that moment, ada orang komen macam tu. Masa tu sebab Dragon Ball jadi rare. Sebab Dragon Ball komik nombor 1 kat Malaysia untuk manga. Lepas tu, dulu memang overprint, memang banyak. Tapi semua orang tak nak jual. Semua orang ada nostalgia punya attachment, semua tak nak jual. Lepas tu buatkan lagi benda mahal sebab orang tak nak jual. Benda banyak pun orang tak nak jual. Bila orang jual tu orang main harga dan orang sanggup beli. Itu buat dia harga dia ni. Lepas tu ada orang komen tu, korang nak berebut gaduh-gaduh kat sini ke? Buat apa? Nanti kan komik Paradise nak reprint balik. Ada berumur komik Paradise reprint, harga dia kena jatuh daripada 700. Orang saya nak jual 200 pun orang tak nak beli. At that moment lah, 2017. Lepas tu dah ada komik Paradise. Komik Paradise dia ada improvement sikit. Kalau korang nak tahu, komik house punya printing, cover spine dia tu yang bersambung tu, awal-awal tu dia main ambil tau, dia tak ikut dia original spine tu. The original spine adalah Shenlong yang naga tu, gambar dia tengah terbang dengan Dragon Ball. Lepas tu baru disambung gambar Goku kecil dan sambung sampai semua watak sampai habis lah kan. Tu dah sadar. So masa Comic House dia ambil, dia tak ambil naga tu dia ambil ada poster-poster yang dalam Dragon Ball, dia ambil ada few poster. Lepas tu baru dia buat Goku kecil tu bersambung sampai habis. So bila Comic Paradise ambil, dia ikut original. Dia ambil spine tu daripada naga asal tu sampai habis. So cantik. Sebab tu kau tengok Dragon Ball Comic House punya, dia habis kat spine tu kat kepala Goku. Sepatutnya dia habis dekat kaki Goku. Sebab dia dah lari sikit macam ni. Lepas tu satu lagi Comic House punya dia terlebih satu buku. Patutnya kalau original dia 42 jilid kan. Comic House 43. So dia ada susunan dia tak berapa ni masa data. So aku rasa Comic Paradise dia ikut original lah. Lepas tu Comic House pula ada few cover nombor 2 dengan nombor berapa tu dia tak ikut cover original. Dia just nombor 2 punya cover yang kau tengok Goku tengah lompat dengan naga tu bukan cover original nombor 2. Cover original nombor 2 adalah dia dengan Bulma tengah naik binatang tu. Naik macam ostrich. So dia tak ikut cover tu. So ada beberapa cover yang dia tak ikut yang asal. Itu
Bulma
lepas
naik
tu
dinosaur.
Comic Paradise.
Bulma
Buat
naik
naik dinosaur. Tu cover original. Lepas tu
Itu cover
Comic
yang
Paradise
itu
ikut
cover
sendiri.
popular. Itu cover popular sebab at that point in time semua cover Dragon Ball Z punya tankobon, background dia semua putih. So background putih, frame dia putih. Lepas tu dia
Betul.
ada yang untuk dia punya macam space tu and art semua dalam tu. And Toriyama
Betul.
suka look keluar daripada kotak tu. Tetapi cover number 2 dia tak silap aku ada satu edition tu semua color coklat. Dia macam color pasir. So orang macam wow, this is like wow.
So cover tu kita tak dapat kat Comic House lah, dapat kat Comic Paradise. Tapi kalau kau beli Jepun punya, tu cover asal lah. Cuma Jepun, dia banyak kali reprint, dia punya spine tu bertukar-tukar lah. So dia ada banyak version, ada 3-in-1, ada banyak version lah. So itulah dia salah sedikit pasal manga atau komik lah. Itu yang experience aku.
Gila.
Kalau tu yang aku boleh sharing lah. Yang lain apa soalan tunggu tanya.
Kau punya collection simpan dalam bank ke Kang?
Aku punya collection aku simpan dalam macam box plastik. Sebab aku takut kena makan anak-anak.
Tu lah. Kau jangan kena dock sudah lah. Nanti orang tahu mana rumah kau. Weh, mamak kau.
Tak adalah, sekarang dah senang dapat. Kau dah ada repeat.
Dah ada balik Dah boleh
Dah ada Paradise.
I see.
Paradise dah ada reprint balik complete. So korang boleh cari kat Comic Paradise je, online shopping.
How much?
Aku rasa 200 lebih je kot full set.
For the full set?
200-300. Tak silap aku lah. Yang best Comic Paradise.
Cool. Anri, what about you?
Me.
Your experience with this IP? With anything, Toriyama lah. We're talking about Toriyama actually, but by all means,
Toriyama was the person who dragged me into anime tau. Before I was an anime fan, I was a cartoon fan. And I watched a lot of Bospida, Macross, Grandizer, Mazinger. All those are anime. Daimos, all those things. Cartoon Jepun. We call them cartoon Jepun.
Yep.
Literally, we call them cartoon Jepun.
Cartoon Jepun.
And then we watch Tenshu TV3, ada Thundercat, and then ada Transformers, and then Robotech. Now, here's the thing. I tak tahu the term anime. It was only until kita pick up the first copy of Dragon Ball kan, then aku realise kan, this is a different media. It's not cartoon, it's a different type of storytelling. Something more in-depth, something more graphic, rich lah kata orang. And if you read Dragon Ball kan, sampai ke Dragon Ball Z, until the end kan, Dragon Ball was a adventure story. Dragon Ball Z is an action fighting story. It evolves tau.
Yep.
And then you notice kan, this is not cartoon, it's not straightforward. It has a lot of depth, and that's why a lot of people kan in the pop culture kan are affected by it tau. Kita tak pernah baca any story kan, midway in the story kan, the villain becomes a better hero than the main hero himself tau.
Piccolo! Dan Vegeta. Yes.
And Piccolo becomes the better father than Goku. Betul. How many years kan Goku spend with his children? How many years Piccolo spend with Goku's children? Lagi lama.
Adri, Goku tak spend years with his children.
Exactly. He's mostly dead. Mati. It's funny. It's funny. Dragon Ball is funny from start to finish.
Weh, gila weh.
And thanks to baca Dragon Ball, aku minat baca title lain, 3x3 Eyes, if you can remember that.
That is a cool series. That is a cool series. It was a fan favorite so the Malaysian version of Jump Comics in the Mandarin punya publishing media is a comic called Manhua Zoukang, which means comic weekly. Literally, it means comic weekly. So it is our version of Jump. I used to buy it for 150 a week. Every Saturday dia akan keluar. So kalau aku pergi co-curriculum Sabtu, balik dia co-curriculum, duit yang aku dah simpan minggu tu, aku beli manhwa cokang one issue 150. Kalau RM2 atau RM2.50, it's a bumper issue, and it's about 40 plus pages to 60 plus pages. Dia at least ada 8 separate mangas.
Different
Each manga,
Hmm.
8 titles tu dia akan ada 4 page. Every page is 4 panels. So kalau kau beli tankobon, kau buka, that is one panel. That is one tankobon page. In the manhwa cokang, in the comic weekly, one A4 page ada 4 panel tu. So you memang puas lah. So in that manhwa cokang, 3x3 eyes was very popular amongst the more adult readers. So kalau budak-budak sekolah rendah, they go straight for DBZ. But kalau kau sekolah menengah, you go for the 3x3 eyes first before you go to DBZ. So,
What happened when you read 3x3 eyes? It had a better story than Dragon Ball. Overall, it has a better story, better drawing, better action. But then you realize when Dragon Ball keluar lagi in the down the line kan, you didn't just ignore it, you pick it up juga.
Yep.
Yeah. So my interest dengan anime dengan Dragon Ball ni kan is linear tau. Down the years kan, a lot of things happen kat Malaysia ni kan, promote the medium tau, the anime medium. You remember Mega TV?
Yep.
Okay, this was the first streaming TV cable TV kan yang
pay-per-view. It was the first
pay-per-view. They give you AXN. AXN pula dia ada macam anime hour. They show 3x3 eyes, and thanks to this title kan, Samurai X kan, the anime scene exploded kat Malaysia.
Yep.
So people started to get more interested. Now they don't only beli manga Dragon Ball, they beli Yu Yu Hakusho, they beli Keiron Shinchan, which is actually more expensive than the other comics, these different publishing house. And then there's Sailor Moon, GS Mikami, all those other things come out lah.
Wait, GS Mikami is a legend, dude.
It is a legend. I'm telling you, in fine detail, this is how anime exploded for me.
Kau petik GS Mikami kan? For me kan, kalau ada siapa-siapa nak campak duit, nak buat live action of any 80s, 90s punya manga or anime titles, they should do GS Mikami. It is basically Witch Hunter Robin. Dia basically it's a Ghost Hunter punya story, tapi dia macam main character dia adalah second main character dalam team tu. So the
tapi
Ghost Hunter
Jamie kami tak habis kat Comic House sebab dia tak laku.
Dia habis dekat Jepun, but not here.
Habis kat Jepun lah, dia tak habis kat sebab orang tak minat lagi that particular genre. Tapi cerita dia baik sebab
ni aku nak share sikit Jamal pasal Jamie kami sebab apa orang tak minat at that time. Siapa baca JS Mikami dengan Sailor Moon, mana dia CC boy. Baca Dragon Ball.
Okay, aku faham. Mudah-mudahan zaman dia akan pergi macam tu. Ya. No, the cool thing about JS Mikami is, okay, siapa pernah tengok dulu Ghost Whisperer yang Jennifer Love Hewitt berlakon tu? Okay. So, kau bayangkan the Japanese version of Jennifer Love Hewitt is Mikami, the Ghost Spirit Hunter Mikami. Dia punya pembantu tu, kau bayangkan Yu Yu Hakusho punya lead, siapa nama mamat tu? Aku selalu lupa nama mamat dia. Yang
Yusuke.
Yusuke. Bayangkan dia Yusuke yang sebelum Yusuke jadi hebat dan dia tak boleh pakai, dia clumsy gila babi, tapi dia ada crush dan dia suka kat GS Mikami.
You also forget pervert.
Itu tak payah cakap apa. Semua karakter Jepun, semua karakter Jepun time tu akan ada karakter macam tu. But towards the final third of the entire story, semua orang macam, apa pasal mamat blur ni boleh stay dengan GS Mikami for so long? And then tiba-tiba orang macam detect dia punya spiritual power makin naik lah, makin buka. And then he developed his own spiritual power punya move, which is very similar to Yusuke punya move. And then everybody macam yay! And then the series ended in a very nice term lah, sebab semua orang macam now we can like all characters in this series, because sebelum ni karakter kita suka, which is the dude, which became the main reason why people read it, was like, tapi mamat ni clumsy, dia macam mamat bodoh, bengak mana yang tak boleh buat apa-apa, dia nak tolong pun sangkut, dia nak campak bom yang JS Mikami buat pun tak sampai. So dia macam it's that kind of a story, and I feel like if anyone wants to take a title from back then to do a live action atau to buat anime, GS Mikami should be it. It is a really dia Jujutsu Kaisen yang more fun. Yang ada proper arc.
Aku nak tambah sikit pasal manga, sorry jalan. Kalau manga dekat masa Comic House tu, dia kalau tahu Dragon Ball dengan apa-apa, Dragon Ball sebenarnya ada scene lucah-lucah sikit dan dia sensor lah benda tu. So aku kadang tak faham semua kan. But then Comic House yang kelakar dia sensor benda yang lucah. Tapi benda ganas semua dia lepas. Kalau kau tengok pencak nujung kan, masa pencak nujung dan tumbuh-tumbuh orang muka pecah-pecah tu kan. Tak sensor nampak So aku masa budak, aku tak boleh terima, tak boleh brain benda ni siang. Sebab bila kau baca Dragon Ball, kau rasa kau dah hebat lah. Lepas tu selalunya orang akan level up lah. Bila kau dapat Dragon Ball ni dah common, semua orang mau baca. So kau nak level up, orang kata, apa barang Dragon Ball, orang sekarang baca Dragon Quest satu level up. Lepas tu, apa barang, orang baca Yu Hakusho. Paling makin lama makin dewasa. Sekali bila keluar masa tu kan penyiasat remaja dengan pencak nujung dengan Juju, aku tak boleh brain dia punya komik pelik gila dah lah, lukisan ganas kan, pecah-pecah kan, dah tak sensor Comic House tak sensor langsung at that time dia punya ganas tu. Sebab masa tu penapisan tak kuat sangat, so macam apa masa aku kecil aku tak boleh brain, aku macam level aku Dragon Ball bila sampai pencak nujung, Jojo, penyiasat remaja semua dah ganas-ganas macam pelik-pelik kan, macam aku tak boleh brain lah. Jadi bila kau dah dewasa, best gila siang, pencak nujung best gila. So tu Dragon Ball memang dia sentuh budak-budak punya level, tapi budak orang tu punya level lah. So satu lagi sikit aku nak kongsi pasal impact manga dekat Malaysia. Masa Comic House dah conquer Malaysia dengan title dia, masa tu lah local punya komik semua panik. Dah start tekan panic button. Sebabnya diorang punya sale dah jatuh. Dulu Ujang apa semua memang meletup-letup kan, Ujang gila-gila apa semua kan. Bila manga keluar, orang buat
affected Duan. Serius?
Sangat affected. Benda ni memang aku lepak dengan geng-geng petai komik industri lokal kan. Diorang sini mengaku, kata memang masa Mahua keluar, masa Hong Kong keluar tak effect sangat.
Sebab itu
macam,
Chinese market sahaja. Orang Cina je beli. Dan dia tak ada transmission tu beli.
Tapi ada translate Melayu. So budak Melayu beli kan?
Tak, yang Melayu beli tu Tony Wong sahaja. The rest of the manhwa yang the Street Fighter daripada Jepun, daripada Hong Kong, daripada mainland China, the actual Mandarin versions of Raja Rimba, which is Hak Pao, Hei Pao, Black Panther, which is the original title Mandarin, itu semua Chinese market. Orang Malaysia, orang Melayu tak baca. Orang yang baca BM tak baca. Dia hanya baca apa-apa yang keluar kat Tony Wong, dan it's very limited lah. Basically apa yang manhwa Melayu keluar, that is about 20% of the actual Mandarin manhwa titles that was in circulation at that time. That was how much they did not really care about that.
Betul, sebab tu macam impact sangat. Tapi di komuniti bawah ada juga. Tapi dia tak meluas. Dia ada serta golongan je. So bila manga ni, dia dah semua golongan. Orang besar, orang budak kecil, orang tu pun ada juga kot. So orang dah start. Sebab apa? Ni aku share sikit pendapat aku untuk kenapa effect dekat local punya industri komik. Sebab local punya industri at that time semua pasal lawak-lawak, kelakar-kelakar. So sampai tahap, tapi sebenarnya best. Aku pun sebenarnya aku collect je Ujang apa semua dulu, semua aku collect. Ujang apa gila-gila ke apa, gelagat semua aku. Apa
best gila ke?
Sebab tu tapi aku faham sebab apa. Ada orang sampai tahap takkan aku nak beli semua kan, aku beli apa aku minat. Lepas tu bila orang dah makin lama ni macam benda yang sama, lawak kan, macam benda yang sama, mungkin orang dah start bosan. Lepas tu bila orang dapat satu buku yang cerita best bersambung-sambung, which is Dragon Ball dan lain-lain, start tu lepas tu generasi seterusnya bawah pada aku dah tak beli Ujang apa semua, diorang akan beli manga saja at that time. So sebab tu lah masa tu sebelum generasi bawah tu dah beralih kepada manga, geng-geng local industri komik ni dah start risau lah sebenarnya. Diorang dah nampak, diorang dah predict lah. Sebab dia punya dah start turun, dia kata ini kalau kita tak buat apa, nanti kita memang kacau koordinasi kita, sebab manga ni dah start kacau. At that time, diorang dah nampak dah dia punya ni. Tapi slow. Sebab diorang tak boleh buat apa. Sebab benda tu, jelah, kira competition yang fair kan, selera, sebab diorang yang kena bertukar ke arah tu. Sebab tu selera ikut zaman kan. So kesian jugalah kat local punya scene at that time. Lepas tu sebab tu lah macam mana manga masa tu macam tak ada effect lah, macam mana pun kau buat apa-apa dekat si manga ni tak ada effect unless sampai tahap orang dah tak beli physical. Tu baru ada effect. Orang baca online. Start tu barulah slow. So yang physical punya komik dah dying. Lepas tu dah tak ada lah. So dah jadi rare. Jadi benda lain pula jadi rare. So itulah.
Okay, sorry. Aku kacau Anri tadi. Anri was saying something about all the animes that he started getting into because of Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, Akira Toriyama is the linear cause of my anime addiction. Bila Mega TV dah nak make way for Astro kan, they picked up X and XN dah drop dia punya anime segment, and Animax was founded by Sony Entertainment now. That is when we all dah baca komik Mutiara Naga, Dragon Ball, but we never seen the show in complete form, because kat Malaysia kalau you tengok Dragon Ball, not Z, Dragon Ball biasa, you tengok Metrovision hujung hari Sabtu, one episode dalam bahasa Mandarin saja. But thanks to Animax, we get to see Dragon Ball 2 episode back to back every weekday. And on the weekends kan, you can see all the episode during the weekly recap lah. And then we get to see what the Japanese see, and then I'm telling you if what I'm seeing is the same thing as the Mexicans, the South African tengok kan. It's no wonder it become a cross cultural phenomenon now. Pop culture, kalau if you potong kan, I'm pretty sure 10% kan is Dragon Ball related now. This is the thing that actually connects all fandoms kan. Video game, manga, anime. Dragon Ball completes all the syarat tau. And aku tak tahu masa when I was watching anime, I was still a video gamer tau. I played games Chrono Trigger. Aku tak sedar. I thought the artwork was familiar, but I didn't know Chrono Trigger was done by Akira Toriyama. Bila aku tengok Dragon Quest, oh shit, this is Dragon Ball, it's a BG. And true enough, it is by Akira Toriyama. The last one, Dragon Quest 9 or 10, I'm not sure. Yeah, PS4 tu kan, was the masterpiece. I don't know if you played it. But
Hari, aku nak mencelah sikit. Aku rasa aku dah tengok poster, aku rasa dia 11 kot last kali. Masa tu paling baru. 11 dah selagu. 11 tu berapa ada betul ada sub. Ada spin-off jugalah. 11. Aku main nombor 7. Aku ingat main 7 kat PS2.
7 yes. 7 tu the hero sebiji macam Goku. 7, that's his name, right? So long story short, right, I fall in love with a lot of other anime titles along the way while I was watching Animax and other streaming sites lah. But I always fall back to Dragon Ball when there's something new regarding on Dragon Ball. People hate Dragon Ball GT, but I watched the entire thing because I don't want to miss out on Akira Toriyama's work. Even though he didn't say he's involved in the story, but he's still going under his IP license kan, Dragon Ball GT. Kalau boleh kata jangan lupakan GT, but I cannot, because I see GT kan, there's a lot of plus than negatives tau. I mean, it has the best opening song for the series.
Wait, tak. Cara hit cara is the best.
You're dreaming lah.
I will fight you to the death.
You cannot dance to Chala hit Chala. Okay, you can dance, but you can dance badly.
No. You cannot dance to Cara hit Cara. You have tak. That was a song yang just mencelah only because of this. Kuat. Kudu. So basically terlalu kuat, kau kena perlahankan sikit.
Aku nak suruh aku kuatkan.
Tak. so basically, why I say so is that okay, for me, during standard 5s and 6, there was a very short 3-month period where me and some of my classmates balik sekolah, and then sebab kita orang sekolah kat Sungai Way, kat PJ, so that is where Batang Kali used to hide. So kalau kau pergi kat perkampungan Cina kat Sungai Way tu, kalau kau lalu dekat dalam kawasan rumah-rumah tu, kampung tu, ada banyak kedai yang daripada lot-lot kecil, and some of the shops are VHS shops. So it was a habit where we all pool money, sewa a VHS of say Dragon Ball Z episode berapa, atau the latest OVA that came out, macam agent yang lawan agent 13, Android 13, 14, 15 tu. And then we would tong-tong duit, and then we will go to one of the boys' house whose house is above a restaurant that the family owns in Sungai Way, and kita orang ramai-ramai duduk kat situ 4 jam tengok. So we would be walking from school, lalu jalan kampung tu, and we would be singing cara hit cara, and then walk into the kampung punya VHS store, which is not kampung sangat lah, and then we rent the VHS and then the video, and then kita pergi rumah dia dan tengok. So if that's like a bunch of 11-year-old kids dancing and making superhero poses in the middle of the road on a Wednesday afternoon pukul 3 petang, sebab punya lepas tuition, sebab excited gila, boleh tengok Android 13, 14, 15 punya OVA yang keluar minggu lepas. That is where I'm coming from when I say you can't dance to cara.
Aku agree dengan Ari, tapi aku kena bagi kredit.
But it appears to dandan kokoro, okay? Come on, man.
So this is the thing. Aku tak cakap lagu tu tak best. Aku just cakap you cannot dance to cara. You yang kata you cannot dance to cara. Faham tak? Nampak tak?
Aku faham Ari. Sebab Ari cakap sebab cala dia lagu yang semangat tau. Kau memang boleh dance. Tapi dandan tu dia lagu yang best ronok. Tapi at the same time kau boleh tukar sekarang ni, kau dengar balik lagu dandan tu, kau boleh jadi sedih tau. Cuma sekarang ni sebab AKIRA TORIYAMA dapat suai lah kan. Tapi cala dia lagu yang energetik. Kau dengar kau main energetik. Tapi dandan tu kau boleh pergi either way. Jadi happy dan jadi sedih.
Relevant. Ari punya point kata you cannot dance to cara. Aku macam
I said okay, I think back. You can dance badly like children. Okay.
Anyway, saja kacau. Okay, go ahead. Sambung.
Okay, apa? Potong.
Tak, sebab kau cakap kau tengok GT and GT you feel that has a lot more positives than
GT is hated. I understand why they hate it. The action is not as good as Z. But it shows a lot of ideas kan yang orang pick up dekat Super. In Super, people tiba-tiba kan you realize tak masa Z kan, people just power up to Super Saiyan cepat tau. But in Super, right, they fight more in base form, if you realize tau.
Aku tak tahu. I would objectively say lepas Vegeta jadi Super Saiyan off screen on the manga, and kalau orang rasa semua orang dapat Super Saiyan cepat sangat, then I guess that one is arguable. But up to that point, bila Vegeta jadi
GT focuses and emphasis on
like the longest ever journey. Like nobody even knew how a Super Saiyan looked like until Vegeta was killed by Frieza. So I mean like, so pada aku kalau macam kau kata lepas Vegeta off screen jadi Super Saiyan, lepas tu datang semua bersedia nak lawan Cell, memang sebab masa Goten punya reveal boleh jadi Super Saiyan, semua orang macam what the fuck, asal dia boleh jadi Super Saiyan tiba-tiba ni. But up to that point orang tak complain sangat bila semua orang jadi Super Saiyan. Even when Vegeta jadi Super Saiyan off screen, unless kau tengok dia punya anime, kalau kau tengok Vegeta jadi Super Saiyan tu, semua orang yang baca manga semua macam finally, yes, he should have been the first one. Ramai gila orang cakap macam tu. That was everybody's reaction.
I'm just saying GT kan has a place emphasis kan on key control lah. Okay, when the base form you can control betul-betul kan, you can actually channel through another power or actually use more your power efficiently. There was an episode in GT kan, Kid Goku kan, dia baru tiba dekat planet, and Gohan dengan Goten fell control under baby. So ada macam parasite kat badan dia. and dia turn Super Saiyan nak tangkap apa Goku. The kid Goku managed to defeat these 2 Super Saiyan in base form. And in this whole story kat GT kan, Pan, even though she has never turned Super Saiyan once kan, she has fought enemies kan yang macam lebih daripada Super Saiyan punya level tau. So here's the story of GT kan, getting absorbed into Super. You see the whole Ultra Instinct kan, tak ada kena-mena dengan Super Saiyan tau. It's like another
teknik.
Ada teknik so something like that. When it comes to fighting.
Pada aku Ultra Instinct tu sebab dia inspired by Bleach. Gurau.
Ultra Instinct tu sebab dia ajak oleh bukan virus, siapa Wish yang ajar kan. Ultra Instinct tu dia bukan level up for Super Saiyan. Dia adalah satu teknik yang dia ajar oleh Wish
for a fighter in the universe. Yes.
Okay.
Aku tengok the Ultra Instinct kan is like advanced form yang Gohan went through masa dia lawan dengan Buu tau. Remember? Dia beri pedang and then
I mean because it's coming from different ni lah. Kalau
different sources.
Kalau aku nak guna Naruto punya reference, bila Gohan lawan Buu tu, it's basically like Naruto accessing Kurama punya power. Ultra Instinct is Sage mode. So it's very different. Tapi your point stands lah, the fact that diorang tak perlu guna the GT. Basically GT when they got it right was when they rasa macam okay, Dragon Ball Z, you guys could have done this better, we will make it better. But when they took some liberties to go to story areas yang macam tak kena sangat, that's where the criticism comes from lah.
Yeah,
banyak je orang
the action suffered.
Yeah,
but here's the thing, the action suffered because they tried to come back to Dragon Ball in terms of adventure. Remember, Dragon Ball kan, they went from point A to point B to find a Dragon Ball. This is the same thing as GT tau. They need to find another set of Dragon Balls out space because they want to turn back to adult body. But that's enough about GT lah. The only thing yang saya tak follow kan after GT, I followed Super. I never follow the Dragon Ball heroes. It looks like a cartoon series made by fanfiction extremists tau. But long story short kan, here's what Dragon Ball means to me lah. If I didn't pick up Gurren Naga, I probably become I'm not an otaku. I probably minat something much more boring like the English Premier League or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, Anri, I know you're waxing lyrical at the moment. I just want to play just take out my moderator's card and aku nak jawab a couple of questions from the chat actually. Obviously I won't be able to answer this, so I'll leave it to you guys. So one of this one tanya this daripada Norazdi Fadila, ada yang kat Dragon Ball tak?
Yes.
Yang masuk duit shilling pas pusing mesin.
Ada 20 sen, 50 sen, 20 sen tu kecil. Ada 50 sen, ada RM1 yang paling besar. Masa tu budak-budak semua gila kad tu lah, main pusing-pusing tu. Kad macam gachapon. Kumpul-kumpul kad tu, yang paling best kena rampas dengan cikgu. Lepas tu cikgu rampas, cikgu saya cakap kat dalam kelas, awak ni semua, benda ni dah tak ada nilai kan? Nanti awak dah besar, awak akan lupakan benda ni. Kenapa awak ni semua bawa pergi sekolah ni, benda ni dia dah nasihat kita orang semua, bagi balik dah semua salah kad tu, macam campur dah kad. Lepas tu kalau cikgu tu tahu sekarang kad tu ada harga tu tak, cikgu tu silap, tak ada nilai, ada harga kad tu. Memang best. Sekarang dah tak jumpa dah.
Sekarang dia beli kad dah. Anybody else pernah main kad ni?
Ada, but tak lengkap.
Tak lengkap.
There's too much to collect.
Okay, that's another question. Sorry.
Aku main Nintendo punya first Dragon Ball Z game dalam konsol.
Anyway, there's another question from Fat Kipiloki. Maybe a simple question to panelists if there is a Q&A, as there is one kind sort of. I think this one's favorite era hasil seni artwork Mr. Toriyama. I think I'm going to interject here. I think Fat, this whole session will pretty much answer your question. So I think if we trigger this question to have answers, we'll finish at 4 a.m. this morning. Okay, thanks for your questions. Okay, Anri, okay, kau nak sambung ke? Aku nak bagi kat Shaz. Tian, Shaz,
Yeah, but
tengok.
Shaz, you get the gist lah. Yeah, Dragon Ball is important for my anime addiction lah. This is possible.
Shaz? Kesian tengok kau.
Tak apa. Aku punya cerita actually tak menarik sangat.
Shaz is not addicted to anime. Ha, jen.
Berani dia.
So, Dragon Ball for me was komik pinjam dari neighbor punya story. Because aku collect Misteri Naga. Misteri Naga and funnily enough a few of Dr. Slump. So macam benda tu my experience of Dragon Ball is not as complete as Anri, Jamal dengan Duan lah. Tapi I think the moment that memang orang semua terkejut was when we saw the Super Saiyan for the first time. Because at that point of time, neighbor aku dia cuma start from Z je, so Dragon Ball asal tu tak ada. So all this time we didn't see dia punya challenges masa muda. So when you grow up, you're an adult and then suddenly you reach the level of kau boleh travel ke dunia asing kan. To us it was just a space punya story lah. So dia punya fighting scenes were great. And when kita tak perasan lah masa tu, but the Super Saiyan became a whole new genre tau for manga and anime, where your power up aura, it becomes a trope. Kalau kau nak power up, that is the way lah. Tiba-tiba ada keluar aura, cahaya and what not. Tapi itulah, I mean, partly to answer yang kita punya question tadi tu, aku sebenarnya sangat suka dengan Dr. Slump tau. Because dia punya komik kan is tahap level bodoh tau. Dia punya karakter dia indestructible, Arale ni, tak boleh mati. Lepas tu dia selalu, this is where aku rasa the early works Akira Toriyama semua kalau kita perasan banyak komedi base. Dr. Slump had a lot of comedy. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball asal the first run had a lot of comedy.
A lot of comedy. Yep.
More than I'm stronger than you, I have more power than you, I'm going to power up and power. Tak ada. It was always about a journey, about a group of friends and dia punya shenanigans, and later on dia banyak lawan-lawan lah. Bayangkan dalam komik Dr. Slump ni, main character dia main tahi aku tahu. Dia sentuh tahi, pepek letak kat kepala.
The doktor tu. Dia pervert kan doktor tu.
Shenbei, ya.
Pervert. Doktor dia punya creation tu is Arale. So there was the episode come this super hero from nowhere. Dia kata macam, oh, I will now do the bravest move. Tindakan paling terberani. Dengan jari dia sentuh tahi sikit.
Aku ingat panel tu. I remember the panel.
Tengok Arale kan. Tahi kat kepala, tahi kat bahu, pegang-pegang tahi tinggi-tinggi. Oh my god, ini komik bodoh. So we see that a lot of the time, even until super selagi Akira Toriyama punya influence is inside the anime or manga kan, they will always be comedy tau. Confirm kena is must have comedy, because aku rasa that was part of his soul. Kalau kita tengok dia punya avatar dia kan, ni that is him. He presents himself as a very funny kind of character, not a super serious character. So aku punya journey with Akira ni is on and off lah, but he's always in the background lah, because from the moment kita baca benda tu, then we realize, oh, there is this thing in Japan which is different from the style comic Malaysia. And then kita pun exposed, macam diorang kata, we were exposed to Hong Kong punya comics around the same time. So macam like, wow, we are spot for choice lah. We had a lot of choices of what we could read masa tu.
Untuk aku nak share sikit pasal Dr. Slump kan. Dr. Slump dekat Malaysia dia lambat sikit pada Dragon Ball. So Dragon Ball masuk dulu. Lepas Dragon Ball dah meletup apa semua. Sekali kau tengok apa kita masuk another title by Akira mesti laku juga kan. Itu Dr. Slump lah. So masa tu kalau kau baca Dragon Ball pada awal sebelum MCU buat crossover, Akira Toriyama buat crossover lah. Nombor 7 Goku sampai dekat dunia Dr. Slump tau. Dekat Penguin Island lah. So masa tu siapa baca kau tak faham sebab kau tak tahu pasal Dr. Slump at that time. Kau apa benda ni si Anri ni macam sama kuat dengan Goku ataupun lagi kuat. Tak boleh mati apa semua macam lawa-lawa bodoh dia kan. So kau tak faham tau. Masa tu dia kena kejar dengan General Blue, kau tak faham. Lepas tu bila kau bawa masuk Dr. Slump.
Oh, dia terputus.
Ya, tapi I have to let him back in. Remove. Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Ada. Sama.
So pasal ni lah karakter yang dulu. So Dr. Slump. So tapi Dr. Slump punya style tak segempak Dragon Ball lah. Maksudnya at that time orang rasa macam benda tu dah lambat. Lawak dia bodoh apa semua. Tapi sebenarnya ramai orang suka macam Shaz. Aku pun personally suka gila Dr. Slump. So tapi masa tu baru kau connect. Oh inilah karakter yang jumpa tu. So lepas tu dah ada crossover, dah ada apa semua memang best. Tapi aku setuju dengan Shaz. Sebenarnya Akira Toriyama memang seorang yang sebenarnya kelakar. Memang kelakar. Lawak dia orang Melayu mungkin ada view tak boleh terima, tak faham. Lawak dia memang lawak kotor. Dia macam sincing lawak, tai lah apalah apa tu, lucah semua. Tapi itulah dia Akira Toriyama, tapi itu memang kelakar. By the time kau tengok Dragon Ball tu memang tu start pure Akira Toriyama punya background. Bila dah Dragon Ball Z tu baru dia lebih macam komersial lah, dia dah macam lain.
Dragon Ball Z is shonen already lah. He embraced his target market.
Tapi kalau kau tanya aku kalau kau tengok personally macam budak dia tanya soalan, aku suka lagi style stroke dia masa Dragon Ball. Masa tu lagi detail, lagi nampak hard. Sebab bila kau dah Dragon Ball Z, dia dah ada assistant, dah lukis simple, laju. Background pun dia background pun tak nak lukis. Kau bayangkan, kalau tengok Dragon Ball dulu, background lawa gila, Goku lompat lah, hutan apa semua kan. Kau pasal tak, bila dekat Dragon Ball Z, Goku nak lawan Vegeta, let fight somewhere empty. Sebab apa? Dia malah lukis background. Cuma
tak. Dragon Ball Z only started after Cell. Z is not before Cell. So Goku lawan Vegeta yang kau cakap mari kita lawan kat tempat lain tu, that was before Z. So kalau kau tengok balik panels tu, bila dia lukis background tu, dia lukis dengan detail. Cuma bezanya bila dia punya actions dah makin lebih besar daripada space, and this is consistent. Kalau kau tengok macam masa dia lawan kat gelanggang pertandingan tahap berbenda tu, the moment dia ada banyak benda dia nak kena lukis dalam dua orang sedang berlawan, keliling tu dia akan ada putih. So kau tak nampak. So that is his weakness. So benda tu dia ulang juga dengan masa dia lawan Vegeta. So Vegeta since tak banyak detailing sebab dia lawan kat hutan, so kau akan dapat impression yang dia tak banyak detailing lah. Tetapi Z is after that. Z is way after that. Sebab tu kalau kau tengok branding dia jadi lain. Ada logo majalah lama dia tulis Dragon Ball, and then when after the team was built, meaning daripada Popo dengan bukan Popo, daripada Tenshinhan semua, Yamcha semua sampai ke yang lepas tu, that's what Dragon Ball Z is. So ni this is something that people that I only learn very late. Aku macam ingat DBZ, and then macam before that was Dragon Ball. So masa dia lawan Vegeta for the first time tu, it was not DBZ. That was not DBZ. So ada lagi detailing dia, cuma dia punya strokes dia dah tukar sikit lah. Duan mana? Oh, sorry.
Aku sebenarnya nak kena gerak kena share sikit pasal Akira.
Share.
Akira Toriyama ni semua orang pun kenal dengan Dragon Ball, tapi sebenarnya kita lupa dia ada few karya macam Shaz kata Dr. Slump tu. So tu bagi aku dia punya hype tu dan dia punya karakter asal tu start dengan apa nama Island. Kalau kat Malaysia Pulau Ajaib lepas tu ada Dragon Ball, lepas tu ada Cashman. So masa tu memang dia buat short story, lepas tu dia compile kan. So tu memang Akira punya original punya style, design stroke lain, kelakar, macam lucah ada sikit. So tu memang dia punya ni lah, kekuatan dia. So by the time tu dia masa Dragon Ball pun dia masih ada lagi dia punya orang kata signature dia tu lah. Ada lagi sikit dia punya lawak dia dengan dia punya style tu yang cute, yang cantik, yang background detail semua ni lah. Dia cerita pun macam saya cakap motor adventure sebenarnya. Bukan siapa paling kuat. Bukan Dragon Ball tak best tapi kalau kau tanya aku macam soalan berat tadi, aku suka Akira Toriyama punya stroke dan zaman Dragon Ball masa memula tu. Bagi aku the moment dah masuk Vegeta semua bagi dah Z lah sebab dia ke arah lain. Tapi nevertheless Dragon Ball ataupun lain kita sebab Akira Toriyama. Kalau kita nak cerita pasal Akira Toriyama, memang mesti lah pasal Dragon Ball. Tapi sebenarnya dia ada buat Dragon Quest, dia ada buat The Land dan dia dah inspired so mangaka dia cakap macam aku cakap mula tadi ramai. Lepas tu orang biasa, pelakon Hollywood apa semua, director, so dia dah sentuh ramai orang punya perasaan. So dia punya impactful tu, dia punya pengaruh tu sangat-sangat besar Dragon Ball. Even kau tengok macam Michael B. Jordan, dia pakai suit macam Vegeta masa dekat Wakanda apa semua tu kan. Tu saja kau dah nampak. Lepas tu dia by generation tau. Kau ingat Dragon Ball ni generation kita saja. Sebenarnya dia makin generation Z ke apa ke semua pun masih lain Dragon Ball. Dia macam dia sesuai dengan zaman yang ke depan. Tu kelebihan Dragon Ball lah. So Akira Toriyama memang
Duan, kau cakap pasal pelakon Hollywood kan. Kau tengok nak tweet daripada Canadian actor yang jadi Goku dalam Dragon Ball Evolution. Dia cakap, dia kata I'm sorry we screwed it up. Dia sendiri cakap.
Siapa?
Justin Chan.
Pelakon Dragon Ball Evolution dan jadi Goku tu.
Oh itu
dia macam kata minta maaf kerana kami merosakkan filem untuk IP awak. Aku rasa macam
Evolution tu tak boleh buat apa lah. Macam tu problem dengan production sebab itu Hollywood tak
production
pasal
dia pelakon je. Dia ikut je kan, tapi
so semua orang pun respect Akira Toriyama. Walaupun Dragon Ball ni nama yang besar, tapi at the same time nama Akira Toriyama itu sendiri sangat besar. Memang ada orang pernah baca Berserk tapi diorang tak kenal siapa dia punya mangaka. Tapi orang tahu siapa mangaka Dragon Ball. Itu Akira Toriyama. So nama dia sama.
Blue Dragon.
Sama sangat besar sekarang. So kelebihan Akira Toriyama ni sebab apa aku terbiasa pasal zaman Dragon Ball dengan Z masa zaman Dragon Ball dulu, kau pasal Akira Toriyama ni satu lagi dia minat, dia suka lukis automobil tau. Automobil. Sebab dia tu buku Tamiya. So sangat detail. Lepas tu kau pasal dah lama bila dah zaman gaduh-gaduh dengan orang dah tak ada nak lukis automobil lah kan. So lepas tu aku suka dia punya zaman Dragon Ball dulu.
In fact, banyak tweet yang tunjuk gambar his drawings of characters on tanks. Cantik, detail cantik gila.
Betul. Lepas tu kau pasal apa yang direka tu sekarang pun orang dah buat tau. Macam yang ikonik motor ada bumbung tu kan. Sekarang dah ada. Lepas tu rumah igloo dia apa semua dia punya style tu. Rupanya orang suka design tu. Lepas tu orang buat betul-betul. Nampak dia punya inspiration tu bukan dekat jangan cerita je. Dia punya design tu dari segi kenderaan automobil dan sebenarnya fashion juga tau. Toriyama ni kau pasal dia fashion. Kau tengok fashion Trunks pakai jaket macam ni. Jaket kecil. Semak gila kot. So dia baju apa semua. So dia ikon bukan cerita saja tapi ikon automobil bagi aku dan ikon fashion juga at the same time. Secara orang tak perasan sebenarnya. Orang tak perasan. So kelebihan Akira Toriyama tu yang tak ramai orang dah ada lah. So guys, aku dah kena gerak. Nak kena tengok game. So thanks for having me.
Thank you for enjoy. Terima kasih kerana datang and good luck Man City.
Alright, thanks.
Okay, Shaz. Sorry, balik pada Shaz. Where were you at? Or were you finished or were you still going on?
Oh, pretty much my next experience dengan Akira Toriyama was in Chrono Trigger. So yang ni nak main ke dia punya animation dia?
Tak, kau cakap je. Benda ni tak ada apa sangat. Tapi I know what it
anyway, Chrono Trigger ni kita orang it came out masa SNES. But kita orang masa tu manalah ada budget sangat kan nak afford everything. So I discovered Chrono Trigger masa kat university dekat MMU. So this is one of dia punya secret punya scenes whereby you had to finish the game a few times baru you have enough
a few times.
Yeah, you kena a few times because the first time kau tak tahu pun wujud mana ni. And you had to finish the game in a specific way. Aku tak ingat lah dia punya cara dia, but you had to unlock one of the specific secret ending. So kalau kat sini nanti Akira punya name akan keluar.
Ada tak? Nama hero Nobu Sakaguchi pun keluar. Square Enix punya boss.
So this game was an old RPG lah in the 90s. Tapi it was a very, how do we put it it was the first time aku main or nampak a time travel punya game tau. Where you can travel to any point in time and your actions in one era, yang previous era, you boleh impact a future era. Yes, dia punya what do you call it, impact dia tak adalah macam besar-besar gila, but sometimes you plant a tree in one era, you akan nampak a forest several hundred years later. So that was quite amazing lah. It's unheard of at that point of time. And this was around the time when kita orang discover games macam Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8. So you have this 3D explosion of style punya RPG, and then tiba-tiba kau jumpa this old classic 2D style punya RPG siap dengan lagu bass and everything. You can complete very fast. So macam like, oh, that's interesting. I only realised that it was Akira Toriyama punya work when many years later they made a new port or re-release dekat PlayStation, and then they had animation of the ni. Kalau you nak main, I send you the link tadi. Tapi dia punya video tu 2 minutes lah, but it goes to show Akira punya apa nama characters lah. Kau boleh nampak terus.
Yeah. Is this the new one?
I sent you, this one.
Is it the new one? Oh.
Ini apa ni?
Ni Dragon Quest. Sorry, yalah. This is Chrono Trigger punya remake. So, Yuji Horii is the guy that made Dragon Quest. Is it the new one? Is it?
Oh, So you can see very clearly tau Akira Toriyama punya influence. Dia punya in the actual game art you tak boleh nampak, but all the
dude, it's not influence. It's Akira Toriyama himself doing the character design, man.
Yalah. Tak, what I mean is dia punya influence dari segi the character are very lively, very funny, you know, and each of the character are very distinct.
Oh dia.
And the point sebiji macam Goku, even the girls pun look very manly punya style. And paling obvious is dia punya mata lah. Dia punya, you can tell from the eyes which is Akira punya biggest, how shall we put it? Dia punya biggest point in drawing. Eye style dia memang very obvious.
Punya biggest stylistic punya trademark lah, signature dia, mata dia.
Yep. So is this like a rehash of the original game? Like they have the same game but done it in a more modern way?
Tak, itu yang menarik. For every single port on the PlayStation, on the DS, aku tak ingat supposedly ada on the PC. Implementation issues aside, they have never redone the game. They only inserted animated cutscenes and that was it. The gameplay from the first version until today is still the same.
So because nampak macam dia punya pixelation of the totok macam cantik sikit tu je lah. Tapi yang original yang gambar lompat masa ending secret tu nampak buruk gila because dah ada original kan. I just wondered lah. But I can see lah they've done the cutscenes that looks sebab gila.
So you can see dia punya influence on the game through the mata besar, dia punya storytelling and so on. So although you do not see the character design similar to what we see in Dragon Ball and whatnot, when you masuk je the animated cutscenes, it was very clear lah. One to one kau tengok, uish, ini sebiji macam Dragon Ball. Ada rambut cacak dia semua kan. The long hair reminds you of Bulma masa muda. So it was a great thing to play lah at that point of time. And later on, dalam Dragon Quest, a lot of the characters pun were designed by him. Cuma yang aku pelik Mutiara Misteri Naga, dia punya art style is very unique tau. You tak rasa macam ni Goku, ni Bulma, ni Vegeta. Tak, it had its own style ni.
I think when I was reading it, dia buat Dragon Quest masa tu he was still doing Dragon Ball. Dia punya editor macam rope him in, and he didn't even know what an RPG was, allegedly lah, according to.
Yep. So aku rasa mungkin the manga artist at that point of time was asked to make an adaptation of this Dragon Quest. So dia ikut dia punya style je lah kot. But the rest of the anime, the game semua memang you boleh nampak influence Akira.
Tak, because yang tu pun because Toei yang buat, which means that dia kenalah ikut betul-betul.
Yep.
Because for the Dragon Quest yang trailer aku tunjuk kan, the thing was by Toei. While you're talking ni aku tengah cari. Okay. Keep on talking. I mean, I found something that might be nice for you.
Aku punya sembang on Chrono Trigger dah habis dah.
Ya ke? Okay. Anyway, since next person is Jamal, sementara Jamal cakap, I'm going to put this advert. I think Jamal, you probably would have seen this already. But it's pretty much right down your alley with regard to what you were saying with your childhood experience in this game. In this apa panggil? With regard to works by Toriyama. So let's see. Playlist Toriyama tribute. Is this one? Is the advert for the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? I think it's a very heartwarming ad actually. But you can talk over it. We don't have to sit down and watch it if you want. But there you go. It's about the guy coming back from work with this new game, and then yang shock tu dia punya reminiscence of his school days masa dia main tu. It's nicely done lah. Tengok. Oh, ada subtitles, good.
Yep, everybody did this.
You see, because aku tua dari korang by 10 years, and by the time Dragon Ball Z even got into, well, manga jangan cakap lagi, aku tak dapat baca. Aku dekat rumah nak tengok TV ke apa, I was already an adult. So I would have behaved like that if it came out when I was 10 or whatever. Dia nak pergi beli Shonen Jump.
Yep.
Kepada sementara tengok ni, anybody yang sedang menonton yang nak tengok Shonen Jump ada jual dekat kat Malaysia, RM18 senaskah.
Wow.
Yeah, because in Japan it's only 250 yen. So it's $2.50 US. But kalau anda ingat benda ni macam collector's item, ini dalam dia. Kertas dia macam kertas surat khabar, cantik lagi.
Okay.
Ni.
Tak, novel. Ya.
Phone book.
Phone book, yes.
Phone book.
Yellow pages.
Kepada anda yang mungkin sekarang, apa Yellow Pages? Korang dah pakai mobile phone kan? Tapi orang macam baca nak tahu cerita dia dan buang. So dalam ni ada One Piece, ada Jujutsu Kaisen yang sekarang ni lah. So macam tu lah budak-budak zaman dulu diorang beli dekat. But obviously sekarang dah ada app semua, macam ada setengah orang tak minat sangat lah. Tapi I thought this book was really nice.
Yes, it is very nice. Dia basically, that was my childhood. That was my primary school. The kids mandi macam tu. Lepas tu yang Kamehameha tu okay lagi because people will say alah Ryu dengan Ken pun buat Bugin. Bugin kan. Hadouken kan. Fine, whatever. But the it's unmistakable.
Yelah.
Because up to that point, for any kids, at least in not in okay, when I'm speaking, aku cakap ni daripada Malaysia lah. Sebab kat Jepun aku tak tahu. And kat Jepun kalau dia pilih Dragon Ball pun, dia pilih Dragon Ball sebab generasi yang follow Dragon Ball tu adalah generasi yang macam okay, we did not grow up with Fist of the North Star. And at that point, shonen manga dia tak panjang macam Dragon Ball Z. And kalau this is one of the things that I've realized about Dragon Ball Z that made me start waxing lyrical whenever I speak in the group about, say, manga versus comics ataupun DBZ versus One Piece versus Naruto versus blah 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 blah, is that I had while I cannot claim to be like aku baca DBZ daripada Goku kecil sampai dia besar sampai dia habis, because aku masuk Tankobon Tankobon volume 31 because of my classmates, my schoolmates. So masa aku masuk tu, Android Cell baru telan Android 17 and he was about to telan Android 18. Then the moment I bought the next issue, and then in the span of 3 to 4 months aku kejar balik seberapa banyak yang boleh. Tapi aku kejar hanya sampai dia lawan King Piccolo. Because sebelum tu alah budak-budak dia kecil, dia macam Dr. Slump tak minat lah. But fast forward bila aku dah dekat uni ke, aku dah kerja, aku macam I've got nothing to do dan aku tak pernah khatam Dragon Ball from that era, the Red Ribbon punya era. You know what? Let's read it. And that's when I arrived at the realization that like how banyak orang yang baca Dragon Ball daripada zaman Goku kecil, they grew up with Goku sampai Goku mati, and then they left Goku behind sebab Goku kata tak apa, biar aku mati, the rest of the family akan hidup dan jalan, I'll be watching you from above. And then, you know, that is what a lot of people felt when they grew up with Goku until Goku sacrificed himself to defeat Cell. Now, what I also did not realize was that entire journey was also a parable to Toriyama punya own journey as a mangaka. Now, can I share my screen sekejap?
Okay,
This is why. This is one of the reasons why. Tadi Duan was talking. Yeah.
How do
let
I
me
find?
just,
Okay.
I'm gonna share.
Okay.
Alright, don't show these tips again. Share screen. Aku nak share. Okay, this one. Share. Okay, so nampak tak?
Tak. I think better stop share this one. Okay, kau share sekarang? Share again.
Okay, kejap. Aku share lagi sekali. Share screen tu.
Okay. Let me go down. Oh, macam tak nampak.
Kalau nak share kena pakai Chrome
Aku tengah pakai Chrome. Okay, nampak tak? Aku baru share.
Sekejap, where is
Nope.
Tak. Kau nak share screen.
Nampak tak?
Okay. Kau share kat mana lah? Because aku
Tu aku share.
Got it. Okay.
So kau besarkan lah, like how
Let me do. Let me just full screen layout. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So bila Duan cakap tadi, the spine. Okay, before we go to the spine, now you observe this is pretty much the accepted issue 1 punya cover of Goku on Shenlong, and you can see his art style. Now you fast forward this to issue 7 onwards, kau akan nampak detailing dia yang kau nampak kat cover, kau akan nampak kat dalam issue if you were to read the issues. But then you forward, ni dia adolescence tau. So up to issue 13, is when the first time he made a strong impression in the tournament of the fighting tournament whatever tu, and he almost beat the assassin that killed his father, his adopted father. And then he almost beat, and then dia kalah juga. And then kau tengok kat sini, this particular issue number 14 punya cover, if you look at it, you dah nampak dia dah masuk teenage years. It means dia dah masuk macam 17-18 tahun. Dan kau dah nampak stroke dia sama dengan era-era sebelum ni. But the moment you fast forward, kau nampak Piccolo punya anak datang, and kau nampak kat sini, the lines are not thicker, but the lines are harder. So then you start to see the evolution of his style from here to this period. So these issues 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 ni, this was when Goku lawan Vegeta, Goku lawan Piccolo, lepas tu Goku mati, lepas tu Piccolo jaga Gohan, and then Piccolo jaga Gohan sebab Vegeta nak datang, and then Raditz abang Goku datang dulu, lepas tu Piccolo dengan Gohan dengan Krillin dengan Yamcha try nak lawan, menang, tapi at the expense of at the expense of Goku lah. Goku had to kill his own brother, and then they waited a year later for Nappa and Vegeta to arrive. So Vegeta lawan Nappa ni is this issue 20, 21, 22. So between these three issues, you will start to see the evolution of Toriyama punya strokes to be this cover of 24 and 23. Kau nampak tak? Goku punya jawbones makin clear, makin pronounced. Mata dia dah jadi petak, dah tak bulat. Kalau kita scroll bawah ni, even this tengok, mata Goku bulat walaupun dia dah adolescence. Ni mata Goku tajam tapi still bulat. Dia tak petak. Tapi dia masuk kat sini, petak tu dah start hilang, bulat tu dah start hilang. Masuk kat sini dia jadi petak betul. Nak menunjukkan dia punya adulthood. But at the same time, this was how also Toriyama evolved with this art style. And then kau nampak Frieza dia jadi Super Saiyan, kau dah nampak dia punya strokes tajam, banyak petak-petak. For me, my favorite era of Toriyama punya art is from issues 17, 18, 19 all the way to what did I do? All the way to dia habis lawan Frieza dekat sini 27-28 sampailah 33-34 ni. Just when Cell started. Because dia ada a lot of definition, muscle dia cantik. Dia punya action sequences is among the best at that point in time. Kalau kita tengok Naruto dan kita rasa fuck, korang punya action sequence gempak gila. Bleach, wow, action sequences cool gila. One Piece, gila babi, set piece. No matter how cool Akira and Fist of the North Star was, Dragon Ball Z was the one that brought it to the public consciousness that this is the benchmark for you to do action sequences. And that began as early as here, issue 7, 8, 9. Kau tengok mana-mana issues between 7 to 13 ni, dalam mana-mana pertandingan yang that big tournament, fighters tournament tu, you just observe the action sequences. It is very, very cool, very elaborate, a lot of bounce, a lot of back and forth. Dia tak lepas detail. Kalau dia berat, dia landing atau dia kena tumbuk landing, pecah tu macam mana, the grounds pecah macam mana, angin gerak macam mana, the lines, everything. And then if you notice, when you fast forward to lepas Cell into Majin Buu punya arc, then dia dah jadi tajam yang macam mana kita kenal, and then this is the end. So if you were to watch, if you were to tengok Toriyama punya style and you look at the covers of the tankobon alone, it charts his journey as a mangaka, as an artist, as a storyteller. Where in the Dragon Ball leading up to say Frieza, leading up to Vegeta, Goku was just, I'm a kid, I heard this story, this legend, this myth from my father about the Dragon Ball, and then we have one at home, and I want to go and find it. That's it. Aku nak pergi cari sebab benda tu macam cool. And then dia jumpa Bulma. Dia orang cari sama-sama. And then dia jumpa Krillin. And dia jumpa Krillin. And then dia jumpa the master tu. And then he grew from there. He wanted to be a fighter. And then dia kata, kalau kau nak jadi fighter, kau kenalah pergi masuk pertandingan ni. That is like the pertandingan that everybody went to. So as a kid, Goku, that was his life. So anyone who started from that point literally grew up with Goku. So like how you see the world in a lot of lines yang lembut, yang very curved, yang ada banyak curves. bila Akira Toriyama masuk zaman, okay, dia dah lawan Piccolo, dia dah lawan Vegeta, dia dah lawan Frieza, where the lines become more defined, lagi banyak petak. You are already in your teenagehood and your young adulthood, and then life becomes a bit more firm, a bit more real for you, and it mimics that. Faham tak? And then Goku is not that kid that wanted to be the fighter to make his dad proud. He's not anymore the fighter that wanted to seek revenge on the assassin that killed his father. He's not the kid that inadvertently foiled the entire Red Ribbon army punya plan. He was not that kid anymore. He was that kid that realized, hey shit, my fighting abilities saved the earth from King Piccolo. My fighting abilities helped rehabilitate King Piccolo punya anak jadi Piccolo yang jaga anak aku, and then when we met Raditz, we beat them together, and then he became my son's godfather. I am no longer that kid, and I'm no longer the kid that had to learn very quickly from there that shit, Nappa and Vegeta is coming and I need to save the earth because this is the strongest person times 10 that I've ever fought with, and I cannot win. And I could only fight only because Raditz buka mulut, and I trained during that 1 year of my death. Nampak tak? So a lot of people grew along with that. So aku masuk masa it was standard 4 kat kelas. So sekolah Cina ni, cikgu tak marah kau nak buat apa dalam kelas, dan selagi kau pegang buku. Komik dia tak kisah, dia tak janganlah kau bawa komik yang ada yang lucah. But if you're holding anything that resembles a book, they will leave you alone. So at standard 4, I started seeing my classmates bawa tankobon in Mandarin. So aku macam, benda ni cool, benda ni apa? Lepas tu dia macam pinjam, tengok. So dia orang bawa lah. So dia bawa Dragon Ball Z je, dia tak bawa benda lain. Dr. Slump ada budak perempuan baca Dragon Ball Z. And then the other boys were not just reading Dragon Ball Z, they were reading Jie Tou Pawang, which is Street Fighter literally in Mandarin. Jie Tou is street, alley. Pawang is the big boss or the fighter or the big bad. So or the king of the streets. So Street Fighter was the like a interpretation.
Can I interrupt you sekejap? You tolong jawab soalan ni because you can speak Mandarin. Kuai po hei ko.
Tak, dia kuai po hei kong, bukan hei ko, hei kong. Hei is because it's the Mandarin translation. So bila kau tengok bila kalau kau tertengok anime yang dia ambil Mandarin punya translation, then the phonetics of the Mandarin translation is kuai po hei kong, bukan kuai po hei ko, hei kong.
Okay.
Kong, K-O-N-G atau G-O-N-G means the art or power or the work. So kalau kuai po hei kong is air or chi. So hei kong is the art of using chi. So kuai po means the art of using chi to make a kuai po. So that is kuai po hei kong. So because of that stupid tortoise teacher, dia ada style dia kuai, dia charge lama-lama sebab dia tak terror. Tapi he was the best fighter of his generation. So dia kena kumpul chi dia dan dia kena condense chi dia dalam benda tu. So bila dia tengok Goku boleh buat, bila Goku budak kecil, dia macam okay, I need to take this kid as my anak guru. So that's why a lot of people like to read Dragon Ball Z daripada masa awal because it was funny. But people like me came in late because macam okay, we want to see some shonen action. And then when you see the shonen action, you macam asal fighter ni dia tak pandai, dia bendul gila. Tapi dia punya sense of righteousness and dia punya instinctive fighting style yang macam I learn immediately as I fight you, I grow as I fight you. At that time, that trope tak ada. In manga, most of the time, shonen manga, the lead character akan ada this big target at the end. Feast of the North Star is the best example. I have this big target at the end, I have this big mission at the end. The whole story of me growing is part of me reaching that big end. Goku was the first story that made it big, where this character, kita tak tahu dia nak pergi mana. Dia nak kumpul 7 bola naga je. Dia dah kumpul 7 bola naga, dia nak pakai untuk benda lain, tak boleh sebab orang ni kesusahan. Dia tolong orang lain dulu. So sambil dia mencari diri dia, orang yang membaca dia tu, pembaca dia pencari diri dia orang juga dan jumpa diri dia orang. Which is why a lot of people has a lot of attachment to DBZ. And they will forgive they will forgive a lot of storytelling tropes ke, power system weaknesses ke. They don't care because if this is the baseline and it's already fucking good, Naruto, One Piece, you guys have to do better than this shit. You guys grew up reading this shit kan. Korang pergi uni belajar melukis, this is your reference material. And this is already good. It's just dated. It's not bad. It's dated. But to Toriyama punya credit, bila Goku punya Red Ribbon arc, dia kelakar, comel. Lepas tu bila dia, aku nak jadi fighter, dia punya tournament punya arc, kau macam nampak dia, I want this kid to win. I want this kid to win. Sebab asal dia ni precociously talented. And then tiba-tiba macam, haha, kau ingat kau paling kuat, kau boleh bunuh assassin. There is something even bigger and stronger than this assassin. What? We have aliens, we have gods, we have whatever. And then macam, aliens? What aliens? Boom, King Piccolo sampai. And he goes like, oh my god, what do? I can only fight. So he learns how to fight. So it's very compelling. And then as he discovers new people, these people who discover him, these enemies, these villains, are affected by Goku punya personality, by his indefatigable, by his indomitable will to just do good and do the right thing by way of fighting. If we fight, I beat you, I'm stronger than you, you jadi baik, kau dengar cakap aku, kau ikut aku, boleh. That's it. Vegeta pun ikut. Like Piccolo ikut and then Vegeta ikut. The Yamchas and the Tenshinhans of the world kena makan. Kau tengok dalam Dragon Ball Z Super, Frieza came into an uneasy alliance to defeat Jiren because of this bullshit. The whole world, only Goku can beat me. Faham tak? So Akira Toriyama has always had this in Goku and it's always been consistent. So bila kau tengok dia masuk arc yang selepas tu, he maintains this. And it becomes very nice because you grow up with it. So aku pula yang macam Standard 4 tengok budak-budak baca buku, dia baca Street Fighter, best, aku kumpul. Lepas tu dia kata, beli Dragon Ball Z, aku kumpul. Lepas tu macam, shit, Dragon Ball Z ni best. Bila nak tunggu the next issue? Lepas tu dia kata, the next issue, tankobon, dia kena tunggu habis dia jilidkan Jump punya weekly issues. So kalau weekly issues tu dah cukup a tankobon issue, then the tankobon will be released. So it's roughly a month away. A month every tankobon issue, the Mandarin tankobon issue, because dia kena tunggu the Japanese one compile, lepas tu dia kena translate and then dia kena publish. So bila for that 1 month to finish, aku kena macam bukan every month, lebih kurang lah kot. Aku kena beli comic weekly lah. Aku kena beli every month, every week punya issue for a month, so that 16 pages times 4, so it's like 64 pages. So and the tankobon is slightly thicker than that. So dalam pada aku tunggu setiap bulan tu, aku pergi kejar balik isu-isu lama, and that's when I slowly discovered it. So during that very pivotal darjah 4, darjah 5, like after kerja rumah, sebelum tuition, balik sekolah, you will see kids giving old issues of Dragon Ball Z. I was saving money to buy issues for my classmates who do not want to keep it anymore. So dia akan jual RM3 and I had to simpan duit RM21 sebab nak beli 7 issue because I wanted to read 18 all the way to 25 one go. Stuff like that. And aku simpan lah, tapi masa aku pindah rumah daripada Ipoh balik KL aku tinggal. So sayang lah. Padahal aku punya dah complete. From issues like 12 or 13 sampai 41, 42 yang gambar Goku macam tu goodbye tu, habis, aku ada complete. So aku nampak spine tu. So masa aku pindah Ipoh form 2, and that was like the Majin Buu punya arc baru start macam sebulan. That was when the first Bola Naga Mutiara Naga comic house punya translation drop. So classmates aku kat Ipoh macam, hampa semua baca dah Bola Naga Mutiara Naga, best. Aku the poyo KL boy yang masih tengah nak figure out how to acclimatize to Ipoh, macam aku dah baca benda ni dah habis lah. Minggu lepas baru je habis. Macam mana hantu sado bria lah Jamal. Aku baca Mandarin version, lepas tu aku tunjuk the comic weekly punya issue where Goku just flew with Up on the Kintoin, on the awan, on that thing, on the cloud thing to say goodbye. So macam, shit, betul ke? And they just started. So aku macam, I grew up with that. So it's very hard to let that go. Because aku macam, there's a lot of things that I experienced because of that. Like, one, yang aku dah cerita tadi. Balik sekolah, ramai-ramai nyanyi cara lintas jalan kat Sungai Way, masuk kedai VHS, tong-tong duit, beli sebab sewa, lepas tu pergi rumah member, and then balik rumah pukul 5.30 petang, balik rumah kena marah dengan mak aku. You balik pukul 5 tak apa, ni sampai rumah aku 7.30 nak maghrib ni kenapa? Sebab apa? Aku tengok daripada 3.30 habis cerita pukul 5 dekat pukul 4 dekat 5.30. Lepas tu nak sembang nak apa benda ni lagi lah, nak sembang lah apa benda, lepas tu nak jalan kaki pergi bus stop lah apa semua. Lepas tu bus pula sejam 45 minutes from Sungai Way all the way back to Subang Parade to USJ. So kena marah lah, tapi aku macam simpan sebab mak aku nampak dia bagi duit belanja 25 sen tiket bas pergi, 25 sen tiket bas balik, the balance 50 sen, 25 sen beli roti masa rehat, 25 sen beli roti lepas sekolah, RM2 aku simpan, RM2, RM10 aku beli benda on the Saturday morning after I finish co-curriculum. And then at that time, because kita pergi VHS, masa tu OVAs were coming through very quickly. And there was a local publisher in Malaysia. Sorry lah, benda ni tak ada. Kalau ada aku tunjuk, aku akan rasa cool gila babi. Tapi benda ni dah berkulat, dah bakar ke benda tak tahu. Dulu, local publishers in Malaysia, bila OVA keluar, they will screen capture scene by scene of the OVA. So you get to see all the ugly animation. They screen cap scene by scene, and then they compile it into a comic book yang besar ni. It's about this big. Like a novel size. The paper was high quality paper, and dia buatlah the comic panels tu however they design, and then they make Mandarin punya translations of the OVA punya script. So if you did not watch the OVA on VHS, you go and buy these issues for RM10 each. And it's full color. So kalau kau budak Dragon Ball Z at that time, you have your black and white tankobons in Mandarin, and then you have your full color OVA tankobons. Yang bukan tankobon pun. It's just OVA punya volumes. So I had like 6 or 7. I had the lawan Android 13, 14, 15. I had the 2-hour special where they show Gohan punya future. That shit is fucking sad weh. Like orang tengok Trunks datang cincang Frieza dengan bapak Frieza. Oh so cool. Kau kena, siapa yang tak tengok lagi tolong tengok macam mana Trunks jadi Super Saiyan. You have to watch it. Because if you feel that Gohan killing Cell was the most heroic Gohan, fans of Gohan will tell you, no, the Gohan from the future that made Trunks into a Super Saiyan is the most heroic Gohan. Dia menang satu tangan. Because he was fighting, and then Trunks punya sayang dekat dia because at that time the world was basically macam dia dah jadi macam Terminator. Tinggal Trunks, Bulma menyorok dengan Trunks dengan Gohan. Semua orang lain dah mati. Piccolo mati, semua mati. The DBZ entourage ensemble dah mati. So Trunks was hiding them because dia pegang wasiat Goku, protect them, jangan bagi dia mati. Maybe they can find a solution to save the world. So Bulma punya job throughout this period was to design a time travel punya machine to send Trunks back and to send Gohan back. So in the meantime, Gohan was training to defend them and buy time for Bulma. So Gohan jadi Super Saiyan bila bapak dia mati. Bila bapak dia mati ke Piccolo mati lepas kena bodoh dengan Android 17, 18 after Goku died. Sebab in that future Goku died to the heart attack. So when everybody tried to defend and then he saw Piccolo mati, aku dah tak ingat sangat, then he cried. He cried beside Piccolo punya mayat. And then dia jadi he became a Super Saiyan at the very age of a small kid. So then he train. Tapi sebab dia tak ada bapak dia tak cukup kuat. But it was enough to stave off 18 and 17. And then Trunks became big. So he trained Trunks. Tapi Trunks tak jadi Super Saiyan. So Trunks ada satu mission tu, 17, 18 pergi serang. Trunks Gohan nak pergi stop. Trunks nak tolong. And then because dia nak tolong, Gohan got distracted. He had to save Trunks and he lost his left arm. Left arm ke right arm? Left arm. So the future Gohan had short hair and had only one hand. So he was fighting 18 and 17 with one hand. And then bila Bulma cakap dekat dia, okay, we have this thing that we need to do, and then orang kena attack, and then Trunks macam, let's go fight. Gohan pengsankan Trunks, went to fight, and Gohan died. Trunks flew, jumpa, tengok Gohan dah mati, mata putih, and then dia menjerit, and then dia jadi Super Saiyan, and he still could not fight 17, 18. Then the mother, this was fast forward, and then the mother finished the time travel device. Then he went back home to about a month before Goku, to about a couple of hours before Goku came back from the Namek punya adventure. So that was one OVA. I saw I had a copy of the OVA yang dia lawan Broly, the first Broly punya appearance. I had that OVA punya book yang dia lawan BoJack, which remains one of my favorite OVA animes. BoJack as a character design is fucking cool. Tolong pergi cari, tengok anime tu. It's really cool. BoJack looks really nice. And then ada BoJack, and then aku tengok and then there were and then of course Kurara atau Cooler. Aku suka panggil Kurara. Cooler yang version 2 yang dia dah diselamatkan oleh planet cybernetic tu. Oh, that
Raslan, I just want to mention something lah. Dragon Ball Super revisited the Future Trunks storyline tau.
Oh, then what did they do? Aku tak tengok part tu.
Dia lawan dengan Goku Black.
Oh, okay.
And they killed Bulma off. And this is for Trunks kan. Dia followed by Goku came to the future. Alternate
future. Okay.
So he became Trunks future ni became Super Saiyan 2 and the new Super Saiyan form, advanced than 2, not 3 lah.
I see. Cool.
So that's the story for the Super. Memang keluar.
Super aku tengok sikit je. So I had like this 5, 6, 7 tankobon. So my collection was really pretty. And then at that time banyak local publishers yang Mandarin, sebab dia tahu Dragon Ball Z ni banyak orang budak consume. Dia buat special issues or special publications of OVAs. So katakanlah OVA tu nak keluar atau dah keluar, dia buat a special print where the entire book, which is about 20 pages thick, is just stills and information about the OVA. So I had a copy of that for Kurara punya OVA, the second one yang dia lawan Cybernetic Planet tu. It was great. Benda-benda tu lah yang aku lukis kat buku latihan. So going to the buku latihan, aku punya childhood, that kerana benda ni, sebab cikgu kata, okay, you can read comics and mangas in class. Hong Kong comics tak boleh. Tankobon cikgu kasih for some reason, because dia tahulah macam usually macam Raja Rimba tu banyak scene lucah kan. So tankobon dia tak kisah. And then dia tengok banyak budak perempuan pun baca tankobon, so budak perempuan tak baca buku lucah. So dia kata macam okay. So bila aku dalam kelas, bila aku suka melukis, aku beli buku latihan, aku lukis Transformers, aku beli buku latihan, kalau Transformers kena buku matematik sebab dia ada petak-petak. Tapi for Dragon Ball Z, aku beli art book, kan that art block
besar tu.
Yang besar tu aku lukis. So bila pendidikan seni, cikgu kata draw whatever you want, use watercolor. Kalau bukan Goku, Vegeta. Kalau bukan Vegeta, Goku. Kalau bukan Goku atau Vegeta, Goku dan Vegeta. And it's always the two of them. Because I really caught on to the jawline, muka, lepas tu mata, and then Goku punya rambut. I did a lot of that. Sampai macam ada satu post tu aku ulang 3-4 kali sampai cikgu finally macam okay lah Jamal, I give you a B, and dia letak kat belakang kelas. Because yang asal buat je kau akan lukis benda ni, asal buat je kau akan lukis benda ni. And it's just the seed of Goku macam tu, Goku macam ni kat depan, Vegeta kat belakang macam tu, something like that. So I loved it. I sketched it, I drew it, berhutang dengan classmate sebab nak beli buku, nak beli tankobon. Lepas tu macam tak boleh nak baca sebab dia kata selagi kau tak bayar aku tak nak bagi kau. Lepas tu macam sedih. Lepas tu aku kat library sekolah rendah aku pinjam buku Three Kingdoms. Kat sekolah rendah dah nak baca Three Kingdoms, tebal ni Pada hari yang sama, ni lawak. Pada hari yang sama, balik sekolah, this is going to be a reading weekend. Jalan, lepas tu lalulah dekat pasar where they had a newsstand where I always buy these comics. Video hang ke? Video siapa hang?
Sekejap ke?
Aku lah. Oh, okay, sekejap. Okay. So aku pergi newsstand tu, aku jalan, and then I had my money for the week, tengah save up. It was on a Wednesday or Thursday. And then I saw an issue of a tankobon, just the previous issue. So I think macam aku dah beli 2 issue, aku macam I was already hooked. And then this was like an issue before, something like that. So aku macam aku ada RM4 ke RM5, fine, I'll buy this. Awesome reading weekend. So I was a kid, aku pegang 2 buku, Three Kingdoms, Dragon Ball Z tankobon, pergi bus stop depan Guinness Stout kat Federal Highway, kat Sungai Highway tu sampai.
Oh my god, jauh.
Yeah. So aku duduk SS15 masa tu. So I sat down on the bus stop, aku letak the three kingdoms on the bench. Aku pegang belum lagi. So aku jalan, aku cross the jejantas over the federal highway. Kalau korang drive past sungai highway, korang akan nampak jejantas tu ada lagi. So aku cross jejantas and then aku jalan, aku kena lalu lepas the Seri Setia Commuter Station. Korang akan nampak lagi kat tepi jalan. As I walk past it, ada 3 budak sekolah menengah panggil aku datang. So aku pergi lah. And then dia macam dia bawa keluar pen knife. What money do you have? Lepas tu aku bawa keluar 50 sen. Yang duit notes tu aku simpan lah, tak lain. Aku tunggu 50 sen macam 50 sen je. Lepas tu aku kosongkan poket aku, literally kosong. Tak ada. Lepas tu aku cakap ni 50 sen ni, ni tiket ni duit tambah nak balik bas. Lepas tu dia pandang macam, hai budak ni tak ada duit. Lepas tu tengok budak Melayu berlenguih mana. Lepas tu dia nampak aku pegang Dragon Ball Z dengan Three Kingdoms. Lepas tu dia 3 orang. So lepas bos dia tanya, the guy yang pegang pen knife tu macam, bak sini Dragon Ball Z tu. Aku macam dalam hati lah, babi lah. And then I guess it was my luck. Dia punya captain tu kata, tak payahlah, let him go. So aku selamat, aku happy. And then I walk past, aku belah. Aku pergi bus stop. Aku duduk kat bus stop. I was so happy. Aku letak Three Kingdoms tu atas bench. Aku baca Dragon Ball Z. Bus datang, aku naik bus, aku tinggal buku kat bench. So aku hutang. Aku punya library RM21 sebab aku terhilang buku Three Kingdoms sebab aku baca Dragon Ball Z. So that's another stupid story. So many things lah. And then fast forward to many years later, after aku dah finish, aku dah habis khatam, I realised that kalau siapa baca Dragon Ball Z masa Goku kecil, it was a story of adventure je. Nak cari mutiara naga je. Lepas tu yang kelakar, dia Syaz akan gelak lah. Dia dah dapat 7 ni. Yeay, bagi Shenlong. Nak minta apa lah? That's the story. Tak tahu nak minta apa. But Goku being Goku, Bulma nak benda ni. Lepas tu Goku kata, tapi orang tu baru je kena pukul, atau kampung dia baru je musnah. Kita tolong dia lah. Lepas tu Bulma kata, tak apalah, aku ada tracker ni. Kita bagilah wish tu kat dia. Okay, kita pergi balik, kita pulihkan balik kampung dia. Boom, Dragon Ball Z pecah. Lepas tu Dragon Ball Z pecah, dia jadi batu. Lepas tu macam Bulma kata, okay, lagi 1 tahun aku datang cari engkau. Okay, aku pergi training sekarang. Very happy story.
You know what's funny, Jamal? In Super, tak silap aku, they needed to find the Dragon Ball. Dia macam like, oh okay. So they found the Dragon Ball and everything. Lepas tu Shannon cakap, engkau lagi. So everyone like looking at Bulma. Engkau lagi? Like, what have you been wishing all this time kan?
All this time, yes.
So dia I nampak lagi muda, lagi coklat.
Itu daripada dulu. If you read from the earliest, daripada dulu. And then for a long time orang macam Goku tak boleh couple dengan Bulma sebab kalau sekarang orang kata grooming. Lepas tu macam Yamcha nampak Goku. Lepas tu macam oh my god, Yamcha nampak Bulma tu Yamcha macam oh my god, this is so hot. And then Yamcha nampak siapa yang pegang pistol bila dia bersin dia jadi lelaki tu, dia jadi ganas tu. Lupa nama dia.
Lunch.
Dia jumpa yang tu and then dia macam okay, dia suka yang tu pula. Biasalah Yamcha dia macam tak boleh tengok awet. Dia tengok awet je. Sebab tu dia tak training. So after you go past that, it was the training arc. After the training arc, then Goku realise aku train banyak-banyak ni aku jadi kuat buat apa? Oh shit, I can protect the world. Dia jadi the protector. Tapi dia punya protector, then he started to realise, oh my god, I'm not just the protector of the world. I am the protector of the world because I have Saiyan blood. Nampak tak? I have Saiyan blood, lepas tu tiba-tiba dia dapat tahu daripada Nappa dengan Vegeta, oh Frieza nak conquer the world and he's gonna come for Earth and he's gonna destroy you. Before that happens, you need to go and stop him. So macam, okay, we will go and intercept Frieza. Ni tak jadi Super Saiyan lagi ni. We will go intercept Frieza. Then that story became the mission to stop Frieza. This arc. And then bila dia dah stop, tapi that arc was the vehicle for yang korang duk sembang, yang Vegeta duk sembang Super Saiyan ni, this is the arc for that. So when he became Super Saiyan, everybody thought, oh my god, is Dragon Ball Z going to end? Tu yang lepas tu korang, sebab tu dia ada break. That was when DBZ started. Immediately after that macam okay, how does Toriyama bring Dragon Ball to a new era? It was by way of DBZ lah. Okay, we have this a lot kita dah enemy ni pula dari segi plot daripada storyline, sebenarnya android ni telah dicipta oleh saintis Red Ribbon yang telah benci dan berdendam dengan Goku. Jadi dia buat robot kecil untuk ikut Goku dan kawan-kawan dia dan ambil data dan design android. So tiba-tiba semua orang macam fuck, cool gila. And everybody thought Android 17, 18. Oh, Trunks datang di future is about that. No, bros. It's about Cell. So the plot twist orang macam, fuck, cool gila weh, apa benda ni? Lepas tu ada scene yang Cell sedut Android 17. Lepas tu dia jadi kuat. Lepas tu semua orang try nak stop dia lawan Android 18. Lepas tu tak dapat. Lepas tu dia sedut Android 18. Lepas tu dia jadi Perfect Cell. Lepas tu Perfect Cell tiba-tiba ada attitude. Macam for poetic justice, apa kata aku lawan korang semua dekat tournament where you all fight me alone. Lepas tu semua orang macam wow. And then it was call back to the early part of Dragon Ball Z. And then Gohan did the Gohan thing. Okay, bapak aku dah mati, tapi aku bagi Kamehameha demi bapak aku. And then the call back to future Gohan from Trunks era, tangan dia berdarah. Nampak tak? So there was a lot of those kind of shit going on and people were going crazy. And that was the point when orang kata Gohan lagi cool daripada Goku. And then Toriyama had to Toriyama. Cici marah Goku, so Gohan kena pergi sekolah. Gohan tak nak jadi Super Saiyan, tak nak jadi hero dah. So semua orang macam, apa babi ni weh? And then Majin Buu datang. And then Gohan tak boleh diharap. Sebab apa? Dia tengah dating dengan Videl. Videl pula anak Mr. Satan. Why? Apa benda ni? So there was so many of this happening by Form 2. So masa aku nak masuk Form 3, Dragon Ball Z habis in a very satisfactory ending. At that point, the art style was just too keras. Aku tak suka. But I think many will say Cell punya art paling cantik, paling clean dah. But you know, to each his own. I'm fine with it. And then we still had the OVAs. They call back Broly. So that was me. And I did all this when I was also reading X-Men, when I was also reading Street Fighter, Raja Rimba, Tony Wong, Alam Perwira, Dendang Kesumat, whatever else. So pada aku, like, it's very hard for me to not to forget DBZ because even if aku tak ingat sebab aku buat benda lain. And then when Toriyama passed on, aku macam, oh Toriyama meninggal, oh this is sad. And then tengok korang bising, bukan bising lah, korang kecoh. And then tengok my feed, and then macam lah aku tak ada moment. And that's when it started to hit me. Shit, the amount of hours I spent rereading Tankobons. Dah khatam dah ni, baca balik. Dah khatam, tak tahu nak buat apa, baca balik. Sebelum tidur, baca balik. Dah lunyai, buku tu dah lunyai. Sampai aku kena beli selotip, tape balik so that it's not ugly. So I then develop a habit where semua buku manga aku beli selotip, aku tape the edges of the covers. Sebab aku tak nak rosak. And it's great. And every big shonen title lepas tu memang kena compare dengan Dragon Ball Z lah. I will criticize its power system not because it's bad, but because I was criticizing it from the point when aku dah baca Naruto. So it's just an age thing lah, you know, an era punya thing. But at that time, and even till today, whatever power system you do in whatever manga or title, kau punya baseline mesti DBZ. That whole Vegeta, his power is 7,000. Bro, kita orang kat sekolah dulu macam ni. Wuyo, kuatnya power dia. Padahal main bola sepak, main basketball, jalan balik sekolah atau jalan balik daripada pergi arcade, and then macam Fatal Fury. Oh, aku tumbuk tanah, tumbuh pokok. Lepas tu mamat tu, aku Kamehameha kau. Mati, tak boleh apa-apa. Kenapa Kamehameha, bro? Like if you end the move with Kamehameha, you die. You cannot win. Macam tu. And then when Nintendo released the first ever DBZ punya console game, everybody flocked. That was in Form 1 because tak pernah dapat game DBZ. And everything you imagine reading the panels was realized in a game where you can control. Sebelum ni tengok anime je kan, kau tengok VHS je. So that is me. So kau ambil ni, kau pergi kat US yang baca Dragon Ball Z 10-15 tahun lambat, like 10 years after it finished. And then from the early 2000s sampai sekarang, Dragon Ball Z punya influence in the African American pop culture is so huge. Itu baru sana. Kau pergi kat Mexico, you go to Hispanic countries, you have Cafe Goku, Vegeta Cafe, you have the Piccolo Croissant. Bersepah. Like, I am not kidding you. I went to Reddit to check on this news. People from the Hispanic countries, Latin countries, the African, everybody was posting.
I think when they showed, when they were showing like really certain good episode or whatever it is, they'll have like macam tengok bola dekat, you know, like how Malaysians watch football dekat padang. Kalau kau main overseas lah, kalau kau main dekat Qatar itu kan, people go to Bukit Jalil tengok macam tu. That's how Mexicans watch Dragon Ball. And then what there was a tweet
dekat stadium.
And then there was this tweet. The tweet that was saying that the cartels had a ceasefire.
Yes.
Whether that's true or not,
we don't know.
But I'm not surprised if they did.
If because you have to understand, the moment these people discovered DBZ when they were in their early 20s or their late teens. So diorang dah young adult. So their appreciation for something like that is already high. Kita baca masa kecil. Faham tak? Like Duan masa when di sekolah rendah Mutiara Naga. Masa aku sekolah rendah aku start baca Dragon Ball. So bila aku grow up, I've done this shit when I was young. I want to move on to Gundam. I want to move on to 40K. I want to move on to X-Men or whatever. They as an adult that has consumed X-Men's of the world, the Thundercats, whatever, and then Dragon Ball Z, what is this? Faham tak? And then they went back and looked for it. And even then, they realized and they discovered that it's better than the Thundercats that they've watched. It's better than the X-Men's or whatever that they watch. So, that is how big that this IP is. To the point that he finished DBZ, he did nothing. Dia tak buat apa. Sebab dia boleh relax. Out of box.
He did a few things.
But those are projects.
Dragon game and
but those are projects. Those are not a new IP. Naruto punya mangaka Kishiyama.
Kiyamoto.
1.5 years after Naruto habis, what did he do? A new title that did not turn out good.
Aku nak potong Jamal.
Power, like this dude, this is the legend where he was the guy that inspired Taite Kubo. Like, bro, that's it. Faham tak?
Okay,
and he did not come from the era where he said, oh, I was inspired by the Akira punya mangaka. Tak, he came from an age where I just love drawing. At this time, manga shonen is not really explored yet. Anybody can do anything they want. And he did that. And the most important point, he was one of the earliest semi-independent mangakas to make it work. Semi-independent tu sangat penting. He succeeded without a studio hiring him and backing him. He succeeded because Dr. Slump, which was an independent piece of work, got so good and so popular and viral at that point in time that he was able to demand from studios asking for Dragon Ball Z that he do it semi-independently in his own studio. Distributorship dengan publication rights je dia bagi. Power tak power Toriyama, that set the standard for the industry. And nobody was able to emulate him until the noughties. Means throughout the 90s, tak ada orang boleh buat benda sama because is this Dragon Ball Z? No. Do you have a Goku? No. Then you can't do it. That is how insane it is.
So wait, lepas dah dengar Jamal sembang banyak, aku pun dah semangat dah ni. So aku
dia kena macam tu, bodoh gila.
So Anri, feel free to cut in anytime lah kalau you ada perspektif kan. But aku nak cakap sebab Jamal has been more involved with the past of Dragon Ball. So aku nak cakap about the Ultra Instinct punya era, basically the Tournament of Power.
By the way, I like the concept of Ultra Instinct because for me, if any kind of power system describes Goku the best, it's Ultra Instinct. It's Ultra Instinct. And the fuckers got it right when like, kalau Goku Ultra Instinct, Vegeta apa? Aku macam, you guys got that right. And it's great that they did it when Toriyama was alive.
So we look at the entire Dragon Ball Super kan. The initial part of Dragon Ball Super when they had the Battle of the Gods and all that, it went back to the concept of like, oh, the gods can solve everything in our power and all that. So timeline dah pecah and everything. Oh, this little dude is going to solve all problems, Zeno semua ni kan. So that initial part was the Dragon Ball Super punya people can solve your problems for you. But then came a bigger challenge, which was the Tournament of Power, which is funnily enough, when you had the character Zeno yang boleh see the future and all that, dia dah tahu dah siapa akan menang, but they just playing along je. But throughout the entire Tournament of Power, what makes it good is that ini yang menarik about Akira Toriyama ni. Every universe had its own champions, and within the short frame of 48 Earth minutes, of course is dalam event tu lah, 48 Earth minutes, they managed to introduce so many new characters, and yet each of them had their own motivation, they had their own abilities, they had their own fighting style, and even the science from the other universe, apa khabar dengan ni.
Seven is diorang.
Dia universe 7. Aku tak ingat. But the other science were like, apa benda aura yang korang buat ni kan? How do you do this? And during that entire series, they managed to learn what the science could do and emulate it themselves. So what is beautiful about this Tournament of Power is that it is a callback all the way to the entire Dragon Ball series punya fighting tournament arcs tau. They had fixed rules. How do you win within the same rules? So that was the basis of it. Yang menariknya is that we saw the evolution of all the characters, the main characters lah, yang universe lain yang kena sepak-sepak tepi tu biasalah, they became fodder to universe 7 dengan Jiren universe. They grew in ways which were consistent with their own punya character. They ended up reaching the pinnacle of what they can do, in the sense that Goku achieved Ultra Instinct, which is something which cannot be achieved by orang yang fikir banyak sangat. Vegeta banyak berkira, he's always thinking in his head. Goku ni pula bodoh. So otak kosong ni is something that is needed for Ultra Instinct, whereby the more you try to think about how to fight, the more impossible it is for you to achieve Ultra Instinct punya state. Dia lebih kurang sama dengan pedang setiawan. There was one martial artist, nama dia Momeng, tanpa nama. So this guy, he had to lose all his martial skills, baru he can learn a specific style of martial art, which you cannot fikir about martial art lain. So this achievement of Goku reaching the ultimate form, which is called Ultra Instinct, was actually expected. So macam like, as fans kita macam like, keluar lagu ni dengan rupa gila dia tu, mata silver, everything, oh memang bergelegak lah jantung kita kan, like, this is it lah, he's going to win. Tapi dia tak menang. And he had to go to Ultra Instinct several times just to show how strong Jiren was as a character, who also ended up becoming Super Jiren or whatever the term is, aku tak ingat. So the ending was great. It was epic and unexpected bila Frieza join sekali. We're like, wait, Frieza join, wait. Of all the characters yang paling tak akan bergabung dengan Goku, he was the one who ended up joining Goku to the end. So yang ni we saw within the Tournament of Power is the growth of the main character and the eventual winning with unexpected twist lah, which is great. But one thing yang aku sangat suka was that moment where Vegeta achieved the next level of Super Saiyan Blue, which orang, there's a few names for it, aku tak ingat the official name, but we'll call it Ultra Ego lah, whereby he is so completely in belief that he is stronger and he can do everything better than Goku every single time. For that short period of time, he was stronger than Goku. Bayangkan. Orang semua cakap tau, when we saw, sebab during that time they showed dekat YouTube live, aku tak ingat channel mana, but they showed the every episode live, and after a while they took down the episode lah. Vegeta took the first step tau. So it is a nod to all the Vegeta fans who keep saying the only reason Goku menang sebab dia ni plot hero. Kalau tidak, Vegeta should have been the greatest fighter. So aku suka Toriyama no Power because they had all this, the things you expect to happen. The unexpected underdog save the day, and the fans who support the other side pun menang. But Dragon Ball Super is in the past. So the thing that really caught me and made me jam sikit lah when we got the news is the fact that they're about to release a new Dragon Ball series tau. Which was all the characters jadi kecil balik, which honestly a lot of Akira Toriyama punya storyline, story punya telling is dia punya strength kat situ. The journey, dia punya Arale punya journey dalam Dr. Slump, Goku and Bulma punya journey dalam Dragon Ball, even Dragon Ball GT I tak ikut sangat, but based on Jamal punya story explanation, it was a journey. Anri punya. Yeah, but basically he has always been good at telling a story tau. Not an escalation of power. I mean, he can tell that well, but we can tell that cerita yang dia paling seronok is when he tell the story of a group of friends on a journey. So macam it was quite sad that he did not get to see this come out on television lah. But honestly, because he passed away, aku rasa the news of him passing away is going to cause the viewership of this series to be even higher than Dragon Ball Super. That is something we can look forward to lah. Dia punya celebration and dia punya what was his vision on where Dragon Ball will go next. Sebab honestly, kau dah the top of multiverse tau. Kau nak mana lagi lah. There is no more power scaling that you can go without becoming stupid. I mean, one thing a lot of people criticize about Dragon Ball, Frieza is Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 1 punya level pun dah boleh destroy planet. Ini level tahap yang dah 10-20 kali ganda.
No.
Saiyan 3 pun
Vegeta kuasa 40,000 is able to destroy planet. Frieza kuasa masa Super Saiyan 1 kan, Super Saiyan 1 initial power is around over 1 million. Frieza 800,000. If you play the Xenoverse video game, right, there's the dialogue that they mentioned this.
But itulah, I'm really looking forward to the next Dragon Ball series because now we get to see what was Akira punya final vision lah for where Dragon Ball will go.
Yang kudu pasang dekat TV ni, was it relevant to what you were saying? I listened to your catchphrases and I was looking for YouTube because obviously I didn't watch them.
It was okay, yeah.
Yeah, but was it okay? Anyway, sorry, Anri.
To me, the artwork yang best for Akira Toriyama when it comes to Dragon Ball, right, was after the Cell games and beginning of the Buak. This is where a lot of the characters you see are living out normal lives. You see Android 18 dah kahwin dengan Kurin, ada anak Meren. Then we see a grown up Gohan, Goten muncul. We see a lot of the artwork on them and the areas around them. We see a lot of other characters macam Videl, dia punya classmates, you know. To me, that was macam almost a callback back to Dragon Ball lah. They started to focus more on the world than the fighters. When it comes to apa macam Cell and even Frieza punya arc lah. When they go to the planets we just focus on the fighters tau. Not much of the natives on the planet Namek or the people yang Cell makan, you know, just to get stronger by 1 point. That was the best artwork lah. Even masa habis the Majin Buu series kan, we see a lot of drawings kan that features a lot of people. A lot of the things that take place kan is around the tournament area now. At the end of the buak, it ends with Goku fly off dengan the reincarnation of Boo in a stadium. I think this is where we see we used to Goku now. He was fighting in the tournaments during the Dragon Ball upper stage of the whole series lah. Masa dia kecil-kecil, even when he was a preteen, dia lawan kat tournament. This is where we usually see Goku fighting in a tournament. So what happened in the buak, right? It looks better. So I think that's the best arc yang for me when it comes to Dragon Ball Z. When it comes to Super, right? It was more updated, but the detail didn't touch as much as during the Majin Buu arc lah. So I stand by that particular era when it comes to zaman apa paling best apa artwork apa AKIRA Toriyama when it comes to Dragon Ball. That said, the future of this IP, right, is going to ride on, aku nak cakap, the success or failure of Dragon Daima lah. It's like another callback to GT lah. You know, GT Goku terus jadi budak balik. This is basically the same thing. But I think the real success of this franchise kan is whether or not we're going to continue with the Dragon Ball Super series now. Okay, we're supposed to. If you read the manga, right, there are a lot of developments now sekarang. And they are fighting new enemies. The space warlock apa dah tiba-tiba muncul, yang mula apa, you know, apa jumpa Namek and all those things lah. I think that would tell us whether or not Dragon Ball Super will determine the fate of this IP. If it's failed, it probably end with Toyotaro kan just finish off under that. But if they do have the funding for that particular Dragon Ball new series lah. But for now, there's no confirmation whether we're going to do a new Dragon Ball Super series. Dragon Daima confirmed it's going to come out this year. I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to that now that AKIRA Toriyama dah meninggal. It's going to leave a, you know, few feelings lah. This is his last work. If it's not up to par, right, that would, you know, kind of tarnish a bit of my appreciation for him lah. So I hope Dragon Ball Daima is going to be a success. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. Just, you know, be fun at least lah. That's about it lah.
But one thing I love about especially when duk tengok montage yang Kudo share ni. Okay, that particular montage just now, just before the current one that's playing. And if you look at the covers of that Toriyama has done, all the posters, all the one pages, he has mastered the art. Okay, lepas ni. Okay, right after these panels, let's watch this. It's a newspaper cutting ke magazine punya cutting tak salah aku. Okay, after the slum. After the slum. That's one. Sebab benda ni berulang.
Ini Munir punya lukisan.
Okay, tak. This thing that you are playing dia berulang. So we're gonna get something that is depan. Nanti kalau keluar aku mention. So he has the ability. Kalau kau tengok background tu, kau tengok Android 16, 17, 18, kepala besar, badan kecil. He through Dr. Slump, and then he refined it through doing DBZ. This particular ni, he is the master of this kind of art style. Means kau buat ala-ala caricature sikit, kepala besar, badan kecil, kereta kecil-kecil, comel-comel, dan chibi punya style. He is a master of doing that. You give him any surface, any size, he can fit characters into there and as many characters as possible. Cantik gila. And the way he does his cast, even if you observe the Dragon Ball Z punya covers, those cars has become very influential to a particular genre of art. aku tak ingat nama genre tu. Because of how he is able to buat the chibi mini. Nanti lepas after this one kau akan nampak the mini car that everyone is hunkering over and sitting on is comel. That mini car. That art kau nampak tak detailing dia, all the grills and all that. He is a master at that. And so because of that, bila publisher dapat dia, publisher suka. I have a half pager for you to draw. I will draw something. I have a A4, A3, A4, A5, whatever the size is, square, rectangle, whatever the size is, I can draw something on it and it's gonna pop. Then and he's very good with eyes. Everything that you see, kau tengok mata yang dilukis, there's a lot of emotion that is conveyed with the eyes. Maybe not this one, tapi nanti we will come back to that particular panel. You akan nampak mata dia meriah, mata dia ceria, mata dia is so alive. And look at this one. Even this one, like kau tengok mata Goku, and that's the encapsulation of the attitude. Look at the eyes, look at the everybody's eyes, the expressions. It's very clear. And then aku rasa one thing that nothing else he does or anybody else does, I feel, and this is very biased, so feel free to criticize ke siapa-siapa and have differing opinions. Aku rasa pound for pound, Dragon Ball as a total punya ni, termasuk super, bila dia dah sampai ke Boo punya arc, mungkin it gets a bit repetitive in terms of the motif, but pound for pound, the entirety of Dragon Ball Z, Toriyama has the best character designs in modern shonen manga. In modern shonen manga IP. Kau pergi dekat Dragon Ball Z saja, kau tengok semua orang punya silhouette dari segi hero dengan dari segi villain. Their silhouettes are different. You see Bapak Frieza punya silhouette, you recognize it immediately. You see the Ginyu Squad punya silhouette, you recognize it immediately. And then you look at the costumes, the way he does those armors, the way he does those overalls lah, those cargo pants. Bulma punya costume berubah. Bulma punya fashion sense is so fucking cool. Daripada dia kecil sampailah habis Dragon Ball Z. And he has the best character designs because every character seems distinct. So that is one of the reasons why I did not warm up to Chrono Trigger because or Dragon Quest, was it? Because the characters punya design is in the costumes look the same, and it's very hard to depart from Dragon Ball Z. Dan macam kau tengok yang Naruto punya creator tu, bila dia buat dia punya manga baru, kau macam I've seen this sword design somewhere, I've seen these ears or whatever not somewhere. Not because he's bad at it, but because when you read Naruto, it came to a point where kau tengok silhouette je, kau dah tahu ini siapa, kau dah tahu ini Shikamaru, kau dah tahu ini Itachi, kau dah tahu ini siapa-siapa. Even like One Piece is easier because of Oda punya style, but for mangakas yang draw ikut figure yang agak consistent dengan natural anatomy macam Naruto dengan ni, Toriyama punya designs in Dragon Ball Z macam cantik because every character is distinct. You can see it. Cuma towards the latter part dia dah penat kot, so dia kurang sikit. Even Bleach kalau kau tengok pun, outside of a core group, the rest of the characters look pretty much the same. It has that feeling. It feels that way. Naruto aku kena puji because I like it. I like looking at Naruto punya set pieces. I can see Shikamaru there, I can spot Sakura there, I can spot this person there, I can spot everybody because they look so distinct. And the little things count. And then Toriyama, from a very early part in Dragon Ball Z, kalau kau baca manga dia, he has always been able to draw. This is the panel, nampak kepala besar macam Clark Kent tu. So he is so good with these kind of panels. Space kecil macam mana pun, he is going to make it alive. So that is how great he is. And benda-benda macam ni is very influential to mangakas because they show that okay, you no matter how small the space is, I can make it work. Aku rasa Tite Kubo dia punya very cool one pager yang semua orang pakai baju cantik-cantik kan, semua fashion tu. Aku macam, yeah, you have great fashion sense, but bro, Toriyama did it first, man. Like I'm happy that is one of the things that you got that inspired you lah. But like this shit is so cool. That Supreme punya ni. And Toriyama is one of the earliest people who popularized this. If you go back to the late 80s, early 90s, tak banyak mangaka berani buat benda macam ni. Dia ada, tapi dia tak macam okay, mari kita buat Goku pakai Supreme. Mari kita buat Goku pakai brand ni. Mari kita buat lukis Goku dan Bulma dan Yamcha tengah drive mini. Means real life brands and objects. Tak banyak orang buat. If you go
by the way, that Supreme Goku tu is a fan art tau actually. It's not drawn.
Tak. Okay, if you go to kudu kalau kau ada tankobon, later lah ni korang boleh check sendiri. You go to the tankobons, usually tankobon cover, lepas tu dia ada wrap around tu, kau buka wrap around tu, that first page, that inside cover will always be a special piece of art. Kau tengoklah Toriyama punya from way back. He has already been doing these kind of things even way back then.
Aku percaya, tapi Ijaz nak to point out the one that
that's cool. So for me, macam bayangkan aku daripada sekolah rendah, aku tengok there's this mangaka that has this ability to do this. And fast forward to Bleach, tiba-tiba benda ni stylo gila. Naruto pakai jacket lah macam gangster. Because Toriyama said, hey, let's have fun. You know, let's have fun. Let's see these characters out of these pages. Let's see these characters out of their Dragon Ball Z world and wear the clothes that we wear, ride the bikes that we ride, ride in the cars that. Then orang macam, oh shit, then these manga characters can be anywhere. That's when merchandising started to really blow up. Kalau tidak, Jojo was inspired by fashion. So that is different. Tak nak dia dah kena jadi fashionable. Sebab kalau dia tak pakai Versace pun, orang dah akan kata dia tu stylo. Because it is based on this kind of stuff. That's what the creator loves. This is Toriyama taking the Dragon Ball Z characters out and say that, okay, this is how you're going to look like with real world stuff as props. And he made it work. Like Jojo is incomparable because Jojo is a different thing. I wouldn't even begin to compare. Aku takkan compare pun. Sebab Jojo, nama karakter is Jethro Tull. Apalah.
Jojo.
Agak. But that being said, Stardust Crusaders is fucking awesome. Tengoklah anime dia yang lama ke yang baru, baca manga dia. Stardust Crusaders is some of the coolest shit ever. But I digress. So yeah, this is Toriyama lah. Aku macam, as much as I did not like Super, aku tengok. Cuma bila Shaz kata Super best, aku macam tak, dia tak best. Dia betul buat macam ni. Tapi kau tengok, aku tengok. This was last year. Sebab macam kutuk tapi kena tengok Dragon Ball Z. And aku nak cakap one last thing before I shut up. Toriyama, thank you for giving Piccolo the much needed power up. I love the fact that my favorite moment of Piccolo was in the Kurara OVA where dia lawan robot-robot tu and then they just panjangkan tangan dia. That was such a fucking awesome action sequence. And you finally give him that big, that big center stage moment, and then dia jadi besar, jadi orange. Yes, so cool. And thanks to everyone in BuzzPOP yang suruh kata, Mal, kau akan suka, tolong pergi tengok. Shaz, Nazir, yes. Kalau tidak aku tak tengok. Sebab aku malas. Lepas tu pergi tengok macam Piccolo. So yes, very happy, very very happy.
Any last word from Shaz?
Akira Toriyama was not that big a direct impact on me, but after 40 years, after 20 over years tengok anime, manga and everything, other manga anime, lepas tu tengok balik Super and I'm like, wow, dia punya storytelling in just fighting scenes alone is so much better than some of the run-of-the-mill isekai punya storytelling. I'm macam like, how much of a talent he was such that fight scene saja dia boleh tunjuk. You bayangkan a universe giving out all their hope to one guy and then that guy kalah and they're all like, tak apa, we all try our best. This is the way of love and everything, but nak apakan daya, we were not strong enough. Kau sedih tau, because at that point in time you did not know what Android 17 would do eventually. So when you see that universe lose and the entire universe was watching the live stream, we were like, tak apa, we appreciate all your design. We were found wanting, That's it lah. That our time is gone lah. So macam wow. And you realize they had to lose because Goku punya universe had to win. That level of storytelling from only fighting scenes kan, you macam, how are people not writing such good stories in other anime out there? So I'm hoping that whoever takes up the mantle of Akira in Dragon Ball don't do a disservice to him lah. Kita dah tengok banyak sangat Western adaptations of their own IP and also Western adaptation of Japanese IP and dia jadi sampah. It is annoying lah. Kalau you nak tengok, you boleh tengok BuzzPOP punya analysis and bedah of multiple stories. Banyak lah kita maki. Apa, you buat karakter macam ni, you tak treat dia macam ni, kenapa plot ni hilang, this plot point hilang. I hope whoever takes over Dragon Ball from now on will keep his legacy, whether it's going to be the Dragon Ball style journey or the Z super style of we are here to fight to save the universe. I hope they just do it right. And kita nanti tunggukanlah when the next anime comes out.
I realise aku tak boleh cakap. Shaz, bila Shaz kata the action sequences tu, he was speaking from Super. I'm gonna add on to that. If you want to see how on the page, how great storytelling is done through action sequences saja, tak ada dialogue. Dia terlibat secara langsung. Sebab tu ramai orang tengok. Sebab sebelum tu semua projek DB Dragon Ball dia tak terlibat secara langsung. Dia macam Oda bagi Netflix kelulusan tapi dia tak terlibat. So lepas tu bila fans kata tak best lah, then dia dah cukup rehat, dia kata macam, you know what, it's time for me to come back, but not to take the lead, but just to collaborate with the current creators yang nak buat benda baru. That's why Super, walaupun mungkin orang rasa macam dah a bit off for some, like maybe like me, but you watch it and it was not bad. Because why? Because it had the heart of Toriyama. So kau tengok juga. So yang aku nak cakap tu adalah apa yang Shaz kata tadi, if you want to see how he tells stories through action sequences tanpa dialogue, tolong tengok tolong baca Goku lawan Vegeta manga. Tolong baca Vegeta lawan Ginyu Force manga. Tolong baca Goku lawan Frieza manga. Please watch that. Please read that shit. Panels dia is fucking awesome. Tolong tengok Goku lawan Cell pun okay juga. Tapi for me the peak was Goku lawan Frieza, where it's just panels after panels after panels after panels after panels. Kadang-kadang satu page tu atau dua page sebelah-sebelah tu is just the action sequences of Goku nak tumbuk Frieza elak tau. Lepas tu Frieza counter punch, tapi dia bagi very cool angles and all that, and benda tu flow, and a lot of that became the inspiration for a lot of mangakas yang doing shonen after that. So Naruto, I would assume, have read it and go like, okay, so if I want to tell stories during people fighting, this is how I do it right. But of course Naruto pun buat banyak silap juga, especially dalam anime bila apa Orochimaru cucuk pedang dekat siapa nama mamat tu? Hashirama. Fourth Hokage. Third Hokage. Fourth Hokage. Fifth Hokage.
Tak ingat.
Alah yang benda tu macam 5 episod anime dia cucuk, lepas tu masuk seinci, lepas tu flashback, lepas tu masuk lagi seinci, lepas tu flashback, lepas tu keluar seinci, lepas tu flashback.
I know the reference but I do not know which one.
Okay, anyway, please read Dragon Ball Z if you want to learn that. Those are really, really good. And then nobody does bursts as well as he does, except for maybe One Punch Man lah sekarang. Aku rasa One Punch Man punya mangaka macam has the energy and the explosiveness of an Akira Toriyama punya fighting sequence punya page. Tapi Toriyama dia punya artwork tak busy, so you see everything very clearly. Bleach pula tak busy, tapi dia tak ada explosiveness tu. One Punch Man is very busy, tapi dia ada explosiveness tu. So Toriyama is like just right smack in the middle. It's very nice to see. Nanti macam Shaz ke Kudo ke Anri ke, I can show you guys personally when we meet. It's just so very clean, and aku guna benda tu ulang banyak kali nak criticize American comics when they do fight sequences.
Hmm.
Sebab diorang kena banyak exposition. Manga and Toriyama does it the best. Dia macam
Tak payah cakap.
I'm fighting. Aku tengah lawan lah. Termasa nak cakap lah. Aku kena macam tumbuk, kau melayang pergi sana, aku ambil nafas sekejap baru aku cakap. So it's logical. It's really cool lah.
Cool. Anri, your last words for this whole thing? Tribute?
I'm trying to pick the words lah. Now that Akira Toriyama is gone, there's gonna be macam it's gonna be like what Oda says lah. There's gonna be a big hole left the industry and for all of the fandom lah. Toyotaro will pick up Dragon Ball Super and probably the entire project IP if it lancar. Kalau tidak, they're probably going to wind up this whole thing. I just hope that Akira Toriyama punya works kan will be preserved and appreciated for the next generation lah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I want 7-year-olds kan now watch Dragon Ball episode 1 sampai the end of the Majin Buu series lah, and then decide whether they are going to be a fan of this franchise or not. I want them to see what's the hype about. I want to see if they, get excited like the rest of us. I mean, nak kata our generation that got excited with Dragon Ball, it's not true. Multiple generations grew up on Dragon Ball.
Yep. And kalau orang kata cerita ni dated, nope. The rest of the world who got the translations 10 years after Dragon Ball Z finish, the old and the young baca benda tu and sangkut immediately. And these are people that are not even familiar with Japanese or Asian culture. Dia minat
Dragon
juga.
Ball was supposed to be Journey to the West.
Yes.
A return of Journey to the West. Literally, Journey to the West.
It is.
It will be cool and appreciated over time, and I hope this will receive the same treatment as the Epic, because he made our childhood awesome.
Yeah,
and
man.
our second childhood awesome. After
Yeah,
our second childhood, we didn't get to enjoy this during our childhood later, and then
Yeah, man.
so thank you.
You're right.
And
Thank you, Toriyama.
hopefully the rest of the IP, not just Dragon Ball, Dragon Quest, Blue Dragon will continue on. Sandland, apa lagi, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross the sequel, tak ada kena-mengena dengan Akira Toriyama, but still a great game. I hope his legacy lives on. That's what my hope is.
Hey, Anri, you want to know something cool or not? It's not cool lah, but okay, kan Kudo tengah tayang panel bird watching.
Is it cooler than my handle, Android NTR?
Aku nampak. Aku dah sempat nak komen. Tak, aku personally, my favorite arc out of all Dragon Ball Z is the Android punya arc. Specifically Android, not even Cell, just the androids. I love the androids. I think the character designs were cool. Androids 1920, I love the character designs. The fact that they absorb energy. I love, my favorite is number 16. And then Androids 13, 14, 15 looks really cool. Cell looks great, tapi aku sayang sebab I feel that was the best, his most favorite art period yang aku suka lah. But anyway, going back to this bird watching, you can tell lah, semua ni is muka Toriyama and then a caricature of himself. If you read Dragon Ball Z and Dr. Slump, almost all these renditions of himself will be in the manga. So this dude was meta. Dia meletakkan diri dia dalam karakter-karakter macam ni, pakai benda-benda burung ni dalam komik-komik, dalam pages, more in Dr. Slump lah. Dalam Dragon Ball, only in the earlier parts. The moment dia dah start masuk arc fighting Tournament of Power tu dah tak ada dah. Tapi ada. So dia macam, haha, this is me. This is like my mangaka thing. Aku saja nak bosan-bosan nak buat lawak. But cool thing is that why they call it bird watching is because his name in
Japanese.
I don't know
Japanese.
if in Japanese.
Tori is bird.
Japanese. Tori is bird. So in the Mandarin is Niao Sanming. Niao is bird. So The studio is Bird Studio. That is his
Yep.
semi-independent studio that he draws
Yep.
from, that deals with the knee. So
Hmm.
bird watching is like, this is how clever he is. Tapi kita duk nampak benda yang haha, Goku character simple, Goku character bendol, and macam but for somebody to write a story about the character bendol yang level up, power up senang-senang je, and make like half the world go crazy over it, and you still talk about it and watch it even though you don't like it and you criticize it like hell because Bleach is awesome. Hey bro, that is not a stupid man. That is a fucking smart man. A fucking smart and a man with a lot of heart, man. Because bro, Goku is iconic. Aku cakap Akira, tak ada orang kenal Akira. Fist of the North Star, tak ada. Yusuke, tak ada. Naruto, yes. Ichigo, tak sangat. But Goku, that hair alone.
Correct.
Kau pakai kuning biru, kau tak letak turtle kat belakang tu, people know who that is. You know, that is how iconic that shit is. Macam Syaz kata, mama bodoh ni yang dia tak boleh fikir. Kalau nak lawan dia tak boleh fikir. Kalau dia fikir dia je jam. That dude, I mean like, it takes a
Let
pretty
me
smart
tell you
man to
something
make
about
it
the
work.
hairstyle. In a lot of games, modern games now, if there is a create character option, right, that Super Saiyan hairstyle can 50-50 will appear in any game.
Oh serious
It appeared
ah?
WWE 24K punya series tau.
Oh damn.
Always
Eh.
appeared.
Okay, speaking of Super Saiyan, sorry aku tak boleh because things are coming rushing back. Okay, dia macam ni tau.
Yeah,
Okay.
you owe me food when I come back in April.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Okay, so basically guys, it's like this. So kepada budak, aku terlepas boat ni speaking from the guy that missed the boat. So when I started on the Android punya arc and going into Cell, now my friends were telling, oh, you need to read the Frieza arc. So aku baca Frieza arc and then macam, wow, fuck, mind blown. So bila kau baca Frieza arc, you macam, apa benda Super Saiyan ni? What the fuck is this legend? And then kau nampak dia jadi that thing. So for me, that effect is not the lightsaber, it's the rambut jadi kuning. Number one. Number two, kepada orang yang baca, the pages when you see Super Saiyan tu jadi for the first time, bro, meremang bulu roma, bye. Because if you read the manga, the first thing that he drew was basically lepas Frieza punya ekor angkat Vegeta, lepas tu Vegeta cakap, lepas tu Frieza macam, kau ni bising lah Vegeta. And then I think either Frieza punched his spine and broke his spine, or like stabbed him like that tau. And then dia campak Vegeta. Oh, dia stab kan? Lepas tu dia campak. Lepas tu Goku pergi kat Vegeta. Lepas tu Vegeta nak mati dah. Lepas tu kata, aku dah tak ada beans. Lepas tu macam Vegeta, tak apa. Please, for the pride of the Saiyans, kill him, beat him. And then Vegeta said something yang Goku otherwise would not have thought Vegeta would say, because Vegeta ego dan sebagainya, Prince dan sebagainya, dan and all that stuff. And then Goku dah marah. And then I think lepas tu baru dia jadi, and then dia jadi, Kulin mati ke macam mana entah. But whatever it is, bila dia jadi tu, it was him turning to Frieza, and then next thing you know, the panel was terus rambut pacak gold. And orang tak tahu gold because it's black and white. And people were like, what the fuck is this shit? So kids were going crazy sebab macam dia tak tengok anime, sebab kau kena beli VHS and all that shit. So they were like, oh, Super Saiyan bila nak jadi? Super Saiyan ni macam mana? Is he gonna have a charging punya ni? Tak bro. Dia terus tukar and then cut to Frieza and then cut to stones slowly lifting from the ground. That's where you know, fuck my life. So that stones lifting from the ground, that is what a lot of manga and anime after that copied. Oh, power up, batu terangkat, batu floating. Not because no mangas ever did it before, but because when Akira Toriyama did it for Goku, turning Super Saiyan, not only he set it up, 2 arcs ago when Vegeta said, I'm going to be the Super Saiyan, I'm the strongest Saiyan in the world, and it's the legend, and Frieza pula cakap double down, oh, I'm afraid only the legend can kill me. Is the build up and all the actions building up to it. Lepas tu kau nampak batu-batu tu naik and orang macam, oh my god, this is Super Saiyan. And then the next 25 pages was Goku lempang Frieza, like literally lempang. Whatever Frieza did that he had already been doing, thinking that Goku would fall victim to it, Goku just macam nope, macam tu je. So macam And that's where you go like, oh, so this is the famous Dragon Ball Z power up. That is when orang macam, whoa, Saiyan. And then after that, Saiyan became a pop culture reference.
That was the impact when Ultra Instinct first came back.
Yeah.
Literally, kau buat lah apa kau nak. Buat. I'm like, aku telak tepi, aku tolak sini, jentik kau. So that shivers from the first the Super Saiyan transformation came back in the Ultra Instinct time.
Sebab banyak orang commented on like they were getting tired with Goku getting power up, mati and all that. So like this was the last this is the last meaningful power up we can ever give Goku. We need to make it work somehow, and they did the right thing lah. Okay lah, dia dah Super Saiyan level 47 dah. Tak payah bagi dia Super Saiyan lagi. Kita pun dah tak tahu nak tulis apa lagi pasal Super Saiyan pun sebenarnya. So what power up can we give Goku that is meaningful and is consistent with the character and is actually expresses the character the best? Ultra Instinct. Faham lah? Wow. And then when you think they could not top it off, kalau Goku Ultra Instinct, Vegeta lah apa? Ultra Ego. Bro.
Oh, I forgot to mention something. AKIRA Toriyama. Despite his gift on drawing action, adventure, manga, right? When it comes to drawing women, he is pretty good actually. He is one of the few mangakas yang tak perlu draw women sexy for the women to be sexy. But all the women he draw is by nature very attractive. Yes. Android 18. 18 is one of my favorite characters. Yeah, Ranch is. Yep, banyak. One of my favorite scenes from the Android saga, right, was Android 18 kicking the ass of Vegeta. Oh, break the Falcon arm off. Yes. Aku paling suka 60. So he does certain things that he does, right? Unintentionally he excels out. Okay, the woman of Dragon Ball Z, right, if you notice, right, they appear a lot in dojins out for that particular reason. As an inherent nature of attractiveness. I mean, Bleach Tite Kubo purposely draw them like that lah. Roichi, Rangiku, I appreciate the beauty, but they were drawn sexily. Okay. Android 18 most of the time she just wear her usual outfit now. And then later part dia pakai baju macam yang mother. Same effect. So I think he understood something about the human anthology now. AKIRA Toriyama. He draws the perfect fighter and he draws the perfect woman that we seek out to enjoy lah. So I hope that for future mangakas, right, take to this example lah, try to draw characters, right, that has inherent natures featured in them. That's probably one of the legacies that I hope continue on lah, going on.
And case in point kau tengok Android 18 lah. Oh my god. Dia tak seksi langsung tapi orang kata geramnya. Geram.
Have you seen Blue Dragon? Zola. Character Zola. Kudo, if you can search Chrome right now, Blue Dragon Zola. Tengok how he draws the character.
Karakter mana ni?
Yeah.
Or Chrono Cross, Ayla. Yeah?
Yeah, got it, yeah.
Chrono Trigger-nya Ayla, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of female characters, right? Especially the blonde ones. Perfect. Yeah. For some reason, they have a trait.
For me, kalau banyak orang suka Luffy, Biffy makan dinosaur, Goku nak makan dinosaur dulu lah. Kalau korang tak percaya, pergilah baca the first 15 issues of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
sebab dia punya Bapak dia ajar, oh lapar ke? Pergi lah memburu. Okay, dia pergi lah buru. Dia pergi
There you go.
buru, dia cari dinosaur, dia bunuh dinosaur, dia bakar, lepas tu dia buat barbecue.
Aku nak padam ni dulu.
That looks a lot like Android 18 if she was Puerto Rican.
Cuma mungkin orang-orang yang macam, because his style is so iconic and very specific, macam orang macam it's very hard to move on from that. So kalau macam kau dah familiar gila dengan DBZ, lepas tu kau tengok dia buat IP yang macam okay, feel ni lain daripada Dragon Ball, and then kau nampak art style dia, it's very hard to imagine it. But maybe that's just me. But that's not a universal thing ah. Itu orang macam orang raikan je because it's a Toriyama punya ni, and they love it because macam they can recognize it's a Toriyama punya strokes. Yeah.
Just saying that he draws women very well. Ayla looks great. Jade from Dragon Quest 11 also looks great. Semua je lukis jadi. Tak perlu pakai apa, jarang-jarang. Of course, this is an exception lah. She's wearing a carpet.
Tapi this one it makes sense because she lives in the
cave,
very old human age. Like sebelum zaman kita lagi.
Another cool thing kalau kau spot Toriyama, kalau kau tengok semua Dragon Ball Z punya title, punya issues, dia punya bandar semua bulat. So kalau student architecture mungkin akan suka. There's a lot of circles and there's a lot of domes in all his buildings. Pergi tengok.
Circles because of the Capsule Corp punya influence.
Itu yes, but this is the thing. He made it a thing that this is the design for, this is the architecture for the, and you notice it but you take it for granted. And that's great. Aku rasa dia macam cool gila.
Yeah, I think that's about it lah. Talk about AKIRA Toriyama. Hopefully legacy lives on.
I feel that it will. Cuma aku just harap the young bloods nanti when the next Bleach comes out and then they start macam compare. Macam biasalah, aku tahu lah content creators and all these people kan, dia akan macam-macam komen. Not wrong pun sebenarnya, tapi macam kenapa kau perlu buat komen ni? So, tu lah. I mean there was something that when Anri said about the drawing female characters, I like macam this is another great point that Anri helped me think of. So macam, tapi aku tak ingat. So macam kalau aku terlepas lah.
They look the same, but for some reason kan they have like the character is different. They look the same, but the character shines through for some reason.
Okay. Yep. The reason aku tengah pause ni because okay lah. Anyway, kita dah 3 jam dah. Dan obviously you can tell for the first time dalam 3 jam ni aku cakap 5 minit je kot. Because obviously I didn't unlike. Oh, come on. Okay. Saya ada juga. Ini saya punya Toriyama. When I was taking care of a family member who was ill in hospital, I had a Nintendo DS and I went to Laoyat and bought this 10 ringgit or whatever it was yang ada 80 game, obviously pirate lah, and I played this and then you cannot save and then I literally finished the game after 3 weeks. Maknanya kena start sampai habis game tu non-stop without dying. And that iconic looking slime is obviously designed by Toriyama lah, tapi he's a character designer for this game, and together with the 2 other people yang kita nampak tadi lah. So as I said before, my reasoning for not watching Dragon Ball was because I missed the boat, but I know it's not an excuse, especially when you look at how Jamal demonstrated that people in Mexico started discovering it later. But yelah, lain orang, lain taste in stuff, probably does. To be fair, I've not read anything yet. But the next best thing is probably just watch first lah. Tengok best ke tak. like I did try One Piece. It's funny, but nothing made me want to go. I think the reason that made me stop was like ada lagi 1000 episode so I think that was enough for me to like you can keep your One Piece. I don't care.
One Piece is overwhelming for a lot of people to start. Overwhelming.
Because lambat sangat. Because even when I was introduced to it in 2005, dia dah ada 100 episod anime. Bayangkan, itu 19 tahun yang lampau. And then kalau aku tengok sekarang, 19 years later, you can keep your One Piece. So I'll go watch something else like Free Run or whatever. So, but I don't think that they are bad, but it's really sad lah to see that Akira Toriyama has passed on, and and we are aware of the impact that he has on the world and everybody lah, not just fans, even people who are in the industry as well, because yalah, and then mati berkejut. At first I thought dia meninggal like last Friday, rupanya dia meninggal the week before.
Kudo, I think like one of the things one of the ways we can describe Toriyama is this. Mangaka yang sebelum Toriyama that was big during their era was never big outside of Japan.
Not really.
So,
Osamu Tezuka?
No, okay. So no, Tezuka was not big outside of Japan, and it's his works, yes. But and then his works yang beranak jadi apa nama cerita singa tu? Allah.
Kimba the White Lion.
Okay.
Kimba the White Lion.
So he influenced overseas punya ni. But in terms of him being recognized as a mangaka, as a celebrity, to the rest of the world outside his field, that's what I mean. So he was not a celebrity. Tapi kalau kau dalam animation, kau dalam cartoon, yes, of course lah kau kenal Tezuka. That is a no-brainer. Faham tak? So that's why he will always be above, because he came first and he started to open the Western eyes to what animation is, and then macam okay, let's go down this route. Okay, fine. But Akira Toriyama, prior to Akira Toriyama, none of his people of his ilk or his peers in their generations became this household name macam Toriyama by way of Dragon Ball Z lah. Like, name me an IP from Japan, a manga or anime IP from Japan outside of Doraemon, which nobody cares about the creator. Think about it. And you just like Doraemon because of Doraemon lah. And Pokemon, I think is post Toriyama, so tak kira. So prior to Toriyama, tak ada. I'm not saying that there are nobody like Toriyama before him. There are better people, definitely. Like Miyazaki is an easy one. But even then, Miyazaki
is a filmmaker.
Yeah, exactly. And he's late. Dia macam bila kau dah adult sikit baru kau layan Miyazaki. Dia macam tu. Toriyama is like, aku layan Toriyama masa kecil, aku dah adult, aku layan Toriyama agak. Ha. And I'm an adult. I can watch Miyazaki, but I can still check out Toriyama. It's like that. So, but before Toriyama, you don't have that mangaka that was this like, yeah, I know Toriyama. He's the guy that did Dragon Ball Z, right? Tak ada. Like, nobody recognized the IP and the mangaka almost equally. And Toriyama, I might be wrong here, but I feel like he is the first mangaka that attained that status. And then the next one I feel is Oda lah. Because he himself is present in media. He himself is vocal. He himself is happy to engage. And his work is so long. The longevity is just insane. And the scale is huge. Tapi Toriyama did that well before him. And before Toriyama macam, kalau kita minat Tezuka, kita kenal lah. Tapi macam kita cakap kat orang sebelah, Tezuka tu siapa? Tapi kita cakap kat orang sebelah, Dragon Ball, ya, I tahu Dragon Ball. So I maybe that's why. And how he do it, we will never know. What mystery, what magic he had, which brush he used. But hey, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I as much as I said, I do not. Ni bukan pasal aku tak suka, benci ke apa. It's just that it never caught my interest. But I do respect him lah as a very influential mangaka who's in which a lot more people respect, and as you say, at the end of the day, dia punya cerita touch the hearts of people. If the cerita tak bagus, orang tak minat lah. You can draw as good as you can, but if your story is shit, nobody's gonna care. So we know that for a fact, and that goes without saying. But yeah, itulah. I mean, when I was researching whatever it was for this, I saw a few things lah. I was trying to find the latest picture. The picture yang paling latest aku dapat yang aku bubuh untuk ni was the one that he was seated down in New York, and that was 2002 dekat some anime con or some sort. There were like later pictures, but I thought and you can see his age, but the context of that photograph was actually from one of those gossipy Japanese newspapers, and it was just bad taste lah if I were to like put that picture. I mean gambar tu gambar dia depan rumah aje, bukannya apa pun, tapi konteks gambar tu dengan konteks artikel was such bad taste that we are here to talk good things about him. We don't want to tarnish his, and benda tu pun tak tahu betul salah pun. So anyway, but thanks guys for being with us for 3 hours 10 minutes. This is the first time I've run a session in which there are lots of people still watching. Thanks guys for being till the end, and thanks for your questions and all that. Kami dah tiba kat penghujung section ni seperti biasalah. Harapkan anda semua terhibur lah dengan kami punya sesi tribute kami hari ni. So kepada anda yang baru ke sesi kami, jangan lupa untuk melanggan, berkongsi dan tenyah butang like untuk kedua laman YouTube sama Kios dan BuzzPOP TV, laman pop culture suka ramai Malaysia, supaya anda tidak ketinggalan untuk sesi kami yang akan datang. Dan jika anda ingin menonton sesi kami yang sebelum ini selain dari arcade kami yang mengandungi ulasan stream yang penuh, laman YouTube sama Kios juga mengandungi video ringkas yang mengambil tema spesifik dari perbincangan kami yang lampau. Anda juga mungkin notice kami tak of late do any bedah session. I think because different members of the panel are watching different things. Anri dok tengok solo leveling, saya tak berapa but there are a few titles that some people are watching in common. Personally, saya rather bedah benda yang saya minat. So I'm hoping to do a session on saya combine 2 title in one lah di bawah topik anime fantasy, genre fantasy for this season. So hoping to talk about the second core of, well, including the first core of Free Ren, Social No Free Ren, and then the first core for season 1 of Dungeon Meshi or Delicious in Dungeon. As much as Dungeon Meshi looks like a silly story, when I watched it, I'm like, how are they going to tell a story of 3-4 adventurers going down a dungeon cooking monsters? And each of the characters are quirky and all that, tapi rupanya ada cerita. I think that it's like, aku rasa ada cerita tapi dia tak tunjuk lagi. Dia macam reveal in flashbacks and bit and introducing us to the characters. So I'm like, I
read the manga.
Yeah, don't say anything. I bought the manga. I'm up to date now. At the moment, the English one is up to volume 12. I've not touched a single issue. I'm gonna probably read it after the end of next summer, or this coming summer, because dia 2 core kan, dia 24 episodes.
If I were you, I'll read it after the Netflix punya first season habis.
Yeah lah, that means I won't be able to read it until October lah. Faham tak? Because I want to watch. I don't want to be spoiled for
October?
No, because the first, sorry, not October, July. So yeah, itu dan juga I think we were going to talk about depends lah. Depends whether or not we're going to have a session on this. There's been like 3, well, at the moment 3 lah anime films out this season. We've got Spy Family, but Shaz dah buat a brief review. There's also the compilation film of the Demon Slayer. Failing that, I'll just incorporate that with the Demon Slayer session for next spring. Dan last kali Mobile Gundam Seed Freedom. I'm going to be stupid and watch it without watching Gundam Seed. Syashu gelak because it's like, how many episodes? 50?
Season 1 Gundam Seed 50, Gundam Seed Destiny 50.
Pi mampu ya. Aku pi tengok.
Mampus lah. Tak boleh nak baca.
It's watchable lah. It's watchable lah. Siapa
Aku-
nama
aku-
ni?
Aku dah tengok robot dengan Lakers Klein. Tapi gambar dia macam kelakar sikit. Because apa tahu? Aku punya reason paling bodoh sekali. Pasal aku ada reason nak beli rabbit dia. I mean bunny dia. Yang gambar yang aku draw bagi kau yang duduk pegang apa? Robot tu. I was like, do not touch it until you've watched it. Tengok wayang cukup lah. But anyway.
Gundam Seed is
Yeah.
watchable lah. Go watch it. It's watchable.
Kau tengok dah?
Tak, aku tengok aku stop sebab aku tak ada masa, tapi it's watchable. The first
I
season
don't-
50 tu is watchable.
I know watchable, but you know there are other things that I've still not finished yet. I still haven't watched it. So aku rasa
Oh, okay. Faham.
banyak sekali. And then, I mean, ini cakap pasal nak tengok just for fun. Imagine if I'm being paid to watch it, so terpaksa lah buat teknik yang makan kena tengok sejam 1.5 speed ke 2 speed. I don't do that, man. Aku rela mati daripada tengok laju-laju macam ni. But that's me. So anyway, terima kasih kerana sudi bersama kami kepada rakan panelis saya hari ini. First of all, thanks to Duan. I wonder how Manchester City is doing.
They're leading
Thanks-
1-0. Kevin De Bruyne assisted John Stones for his
Kevin
first
De
goal since
Bruyne.
2023.
Cool. Shaz, thanks very much. Jamal, and then Anri Alwi, our Android NTR Master. Otsukare Tabadeshita dan saya Kudomari tu Jodes Mata tu deh, kita jumpa di sesi kita yang akan datang. Oh ya, sekejap je. Komen kata apa? Oh, okay fine. Okay fine. Alright. See you guys soon.